right now is we've got Sharif, we've got Joe, we've got Sia, we've got Adara. Everybody's ready to rock and roll. They're on the midday. All right, man, decent day today. Hopefully we can make a little bit of money here in the afternoon and on the midday show. I think we can. The boys are ready to go, man. It's maybe a VRAX kind of day.
No, that sucks one day.
No, let's go find out what they're doing today. More halters just to my guys on the left. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Ciao.
Man, it is raining outside. It is 1,007% humidity, but I'm in a good mood, so we're going to get this. Boom. Greetings and salutations. Beautiful people, welcome to the midday show. This man right there is your boy Joey Options. I am Sharif, and everybody's weaseling on in early. Don Sharifo, Tisha. I see JLHL, Tisha. We're going to be all over that. Juan, Adam, Bovin, Andre, Hamad. We got the commoditied one, the commodity king 777. Boom, boom, boom. Grunfeld, JC Trader, Alan. We got Yannick. We got No Teeth, please. The DC Guitar. Blunder, Grey Worm. We got Apogee, Buckled. Meta Broke 600 says Buckled. White something Trader. We can't say that one. Saul G, Micron Millionaire. We got Dino. We got Toddit. Bilbo Baggins. He's bagging money, Joey. Okay. Customer ATH. We got Ryan. Overweight. Puttus? Okay. Gamecraft Nico. We got TJ Kodak. And shout out to Henry Hood. Midwest Cannabis joining us again. 44th Love. Yes, right back at you, brother. Broken Arrow. We got Customer. We got Jaguar Nut. Scott. Boom. John Deesk. And Edward George. We got Ochiri. As well as, who else? Boston. 26.2. And DK 60, 50, frickin' 2. And shout out to my man, Hangry Wife. Is that me? That's hilarious, man. All right, let's get right down to work. You want to show them what you're looking? Oh yeah,
are you
already
tapped
I'm not
in there?
even tapped
Oh
in, man.
no!
Good thing
all
you
right.
caught me quick
Good
there.
thing I caught you.
Otherwise, I would have been in a little bit of trouble, Joey. Tell them what you're talking about.
All right, guys. VinFast continues to expand beyond vehicle sales. This week, VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan with VinFast VF6 vehicles. Together, these move highlights VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the NASDAQ under ticker VFS. Pew, 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 pew. All right, let's get right into it, guys. One trade for your boy here today, and it has been a rocking and a rolling so far. We're posted up. We want to double up our complete position size here, guys. One trade right off of the lows here in the TQQs. Bang, off to the races we go. I did remove about 40% of the position on this initial partial, and then we pieced some out. I am currently sitting on approximately here. I'll do a transaction for the folks back at home, but I want to reload and get back into full size if I'm fortunate enough to get anything around this neck of the woods. 74.90 is where I want to put in my full position. We're long from 74.13. Other than that, guys, I've been working on some things, so I wasn't heavily focused on the overall market. But hey, sometimes when I'm slightly distracted, I'm at my best, and sure enough, we were able to display that here, guys. $74 off of those lows, waited for the market to finish its selling, and I just had the hunch. Sharif, sometimes you get that gut feeling, brother. A couple of articles just stating that how so many data centers, and Sharif brought us this point a while ago, have been rejected. Over $130 billion in data centers so far this year have been rejected. Hyperscalers thinking they can just plop these things up anywhere. Honestly, not necessarily the case here, guys, as we had a high of around $206 on NVDA, then climbing earlier this morning down to a low of $198. But I do like the bigger picture, right? This is going to be really important. Are we breaking this trend? Are we going to have the ability to hold? A name that has been relatively weak, guys. Don't expect strength to always step in. We're a three-day green streak. Eventually, things were going to start to come back in. Now, as for Meta can't hold on to 600 for the life of it, even though we're at 601 right now. A catalyst steps in. It feels like every day for the past couple of weeks within this name, and Sean hit that nail on the head, just stating you get hit with headline after headline, and it still can't hold specific levels. I wonder why. There's a headwind, there's a weight on this name's shoulder, and that's going to be the antitrust in regards to all the states that are suing in regards to social media addiction and safety amongst children. Once that gets cleared up, once they pay the fines, which they will, I believe that this stock trading at less than 23 times forward earnings is going to go absolutely insane. Sharif, you brought up a point yesterday on the fact that NVDA is trading at post AI boom numbers.
P to E, yeah.
Yeah, price to earnings ratio. So is Meta.
Oh.
Meta is absolutely insane. This is one of the names that hasn't moved with some of these other names, like the Googles who have gone insane. And same thing with Microsoft. So I believe in the near future, you're going to start to see these companies that have been lagging start to gain some ground, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Peter, I see you, Peter. Peter 7675. Feeling is the way it is, man. You know, that's kind of how that game goes. But we're going to move on, man, and we're going to start.
Is that...
Take off the super chat, Tiffany. Why are you doing this to me, hangry wife, man?
I think that's fair.
Why, man? It's not even like I'm not deranged when I'm eating, you know? I'm just like having a good time. Why you gotta do me like that, hangry, man?
That's fair, man.
There's been a lot of these coming up, man. AI sucks, man.
It does, man.
You're constantly exposed, Sia, like, right? Like, unreal. Super. Let's get to this. DVLT, thoughts. Second super chat. Please let me know. I'm pretty sure the boys covered it. Didn't you guys cover DVLT? I was pretty sure you guys did. I heard you guys. Oh, look, Godzilla. Yeah. Get out of here, Ozan. All right, let's look at this super first. Shout out to Adam James abroad as well. Thank you, Adam, for the super chat. Adam, we know how you feel about data centers. I completely respect your opinion. And it looks like, you know, you and the people who espouse your thinking are getting their way. At least this year. I don't know for how long, though, but let's look at DVLT.
Where's Ben Affleck? Is Ben Affleck in the chat?
He might be there, Joey.
Good.
All right, so let's start with the wider time frame, if you guys don't mind, on DVLT. We always have to put everything into perspective. You have to know where this one is coming from in order to maybe know where it's going. And right now, it looks like it's going to zero, okay? Because the best time it ever had, well, was a long time ago over here. Let's start with the weekly. Jeez Louise, where's this one coming from, man? Yeah, it's split a lot of times, guys. Two split, 1 to 100. It looks like this is something to 1,000. So it's done a lot of reverse splits. But let's go to the hourly and see exactly what we've got a gnarly looking downtrend here on the hourly. This takes us back to late April. It's unbroken lower highs, Joey. It's unbroken lower lows. So this is a tough one. It likely is bid non-compliant, meaning that it probably got the letter from the NASDAQ saying, hey, man, get your stock above $1 and keep it above there, or you're going to get delisted and sent to the Jeff Mendel exchange on the OTC, right? And that nobody wants that.
J-Man's not there.
J-Man's gone?
He may or may not be there. Katina Man released
Katina Man, is that true? What? Jeff Mendel, he's gone Zeno? I don't know. Joe said you did. You said it. No, you didn't say nothing like that. Okay, I guess it's in between.
Okay, so I just made it up. All right, man.
Thank you, Luis. Luis, when you're talking, brother, I'm listening. Trust me, because we trade the same thing, and you trade the opposite of me. So I don't know what's going on in the mind of short sellers. So when you talk, Luis, I listen. Shout out to my man Luis Barbado. He's in the chat. We all know who Luis is, but maybe we don't know who he is in the chat. His handle is A-Day Trading. Tag him, speak to him. He's likely in the chat. He's great at responding, and he's a hell of a small cap trader to the short side. So make sure you take advantage of that because we, short in supply around here anyway to the short side. So DVLT, look, I don't like it. From a wider time frame, 5-minute time frame intraday, it looks good. 38.25 resistance. I'd say expect resistance right here. Look at this multi-day. Both support and resistance at around 38.5 to 39. Area low, area high, and here we are again right back there. Sorry I couldn't be more positive about this one, but hey, a lot of these small cap gappers, we know, what their modus operandi is. But here's what we're looking at, guys. Let's get right down to work because these are the 8 that I'm looking at. And FBRX or CIRC may lose its spot here to open. Guys, Open Door is running. It is back. It is up to 5 1/4. In fact, the high of the day is 5 1/3. So if the Open Army wants to, pump this one today up 10 1/4 so far, I'm game, right? Intraday game, not, swing or long-term game. But JLHL, the best one of the bunch right now, it's up, I believe, 83, 84%. It's got some resistance here at around $6. No closing prints above 623 high. Unbroken downtrend ever since putting in that topping tail candle into 6 1/4, showing 560 now. I wouldn't mind a defend of the 550 to 540 area. You had resistance there initially. We know the $0.50 typically is, an area of support and resistance. Moreover, you're getting the 10 EMA on the 5 support there, of which this one has been quite respectful of that green line. I'm talking about the 10 EMA, of course. So JLHL in focus. We also have Trax New York.
Yeah, Trax NYC.
Where
is my money?
Yeah. And then he has to end the video by letting you know where to go, right? Because he's got to do his little promo at the end there, just like we do with VinFast, Joey, right?
Yeah. Oh,
TRAX.
Are we doing VinFast?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
TRAX, guys, trading at around 29 1/4, 30 1/5 high. It's more expensive. It is a little bit illiquid, but it's got a hell of a pattern today. With a couple of bull flags manifesting here, the breakout right at 9:30. You get the bull flag continuation between 26 to 27, and then you get the breakout above the consolidation area right around 10:25. So this one's all gas, no brakes. As I mentioned, Open Door in focus, as well as FBRX, another more expensive one today. This one gapped up big from 24 1/2. It opened up at around 27, zigged and zagged. But look at this, guys. We haven't filled that gap between 26 to 24 1/2, right? So something to look out for there, trading above $30 right now. 30 was a resistance level for about a period of 20 to 25 minutes. You could give this one the old community college try at around 30 to 29 1/2. 29 1/2 being the 10 EMA on the 5 and 30, obviously, that area breakout. But we also have WRAP. WRAP looking like it's putting in an up. Yeah, Katina, man, WRAP, baby, it's going. An upward channel bull flag here. A lot of support right around this upward trend line here, right around 2 1/5. Volume weighted average price 215. It's a good looking name as well. Laser, LASR, freaking lasers. But this one's way more expensive than, I'm typically trading small caps, trading around $75, but it's a dang buy program. Yesterday closed out at $58, 76.43 high today on frickin' lasers. And then Mara. I mean, Neil called this one out, and so I had to take a quick gander here about Mara. Where's my boy BPI? I was getting all sorts of messages from Big Patty Ice during the Egypt game, man. He was all eyes on that game. And then, it ended up being the way it was. But 14.41 high. Didn't lose the 10 EMA all day since it reclaimed it around 9:15. So perhaps due for a pullback here, MARA. And last but not least, Joseph Options, FRVO. Bull flag breakout right at 9:30. We're putting it in a bit of an upward channel now. Trade this one carefully. It's a little illiquid. Moreover, the volume profile is diverging from the price action. So you have higher lows and higher highs on the price action, but you have lower highs on the volume bars. So you got to be alive to that, lest it turn around. But there goes JLHL right back through 6. Let's load this monster up and get shut down sooner rather than later. No, I'm kidding. We're going to do it live. We're going to do it properly on this one, keeping an eye here on JLHL, Joey.
All right, man. Yeah, there we go. We've been waiting. There we go. We pull up the old screen. See there, Assassino. Man, I wanted that dip buy over there at 74.90s. We're not getting that right now, so we're just holding on to whatever we have. And I mean, it's like 5% of what I've had of the original position. So this is slowly starting to cook up. ICUP, don't worry, brother. Your super chat didn't get ignored. All right. Can I get a second opinion on SpaceX? With rational, like, what do you think? What we're going to give you is irrational? But anyways, I told you. Listen, this is a play. This is a specific Elon Musk play. I think a lot of people can agree with it. Now, from a forward-looking standpoint, the total addressable market is some insane trillions, like 23 trillion, I believe, in the near future. But the majority of its money right now is coming from Starlink and from Grok. And that's apparently not even performing that well. As Sharif stated yesterday, they've lost, I believe, around 30% of their monthly active users, right?
Exactly.
So it makes things a little bit more difficult, but good thing that we have its reports coming up, Q2. So you're going to see all of those metrics, and if they come in better than expected, then it might be a good opportunity to buy on SpaceX. SpaceX is a long-term hold. I think a lot of us are aware of that, and I'm going to stick with that nature, right? Like, that's how I am. And believe me, I'm going to be putting up a substantial amount of size of my portfolio onto this bad boy. I just have that much confidence in it, and I'm okay with sitting within it for 10 years. Here we go. So there's your rational take on SpaceX. What is going irrational right now is I'm a little bit infuriated, Sharif.
Why, Joey?
As I should have had significantly more shares on this bad boy. Assassino screen, please. As we continue to climb, bottom picking Gorev. There it is. Where's Ben Affleck? Boom, there it is here, a nice grab off of the lows, and we're continuing to move a little bit higher as some of these big names find their way to recovery, and I'm referring to Meta and NVDA. SpaceX above the volume-weighted average price, and same thing with DRAM right now, guys. So that's what I have. Did you go over Adam James's super chat?
I did. I told him, like, him and people of his opinion that loathe data centers, right?
Yeah.
For the environmental effects, a lot of the other things, surveillance effects as well. You guys are getting your way. We talked about this. A great majority of them are getting canceled. I don't know. I have my own opinion.
Yeah,
I think
if
they don't get done here, they're going to get done somewhere else, and then those people will have the compute. My concern is everything is going to be based on compute. Healthcare, anything, military. It's all going to be how much compute you have. There goes JLHL. Give me my money, man. Let's go. We got this breakout here. We got 610 on. We just went the beak there. Katina, man, I appreciate you at 654. That is a new high of day. Looking for the 6.5 continuation, and then I'm looking for 7. Limit up is 666s. Oh, that is an ominous one right there. But JLHL in focus. But guys, I got to tell you something. Let me tell you something. Quick reminder, Trader TV Live members get Sharif's Mind daily morning research note every single trading day that I'm here with big market stories, key levels. We're talking about trade plans, catalysts, and what specifically we're watching into the open. It is only $4.99 a month, and you can also get members-only videos, posts, custom emojis, and loyalty badges. Hit join below this video to become a member now. It is only $4.99 a month. As Katina Man says, that's less than a cup of coffee per day, right? You go to Starbucks, you're shopping like $5 or whatever you guys are paying there. No, maybe for a latte. The coffee's not that much. But continuing to watch your Joey's 666s. The ominous number is now the high of the day on this one. And by the way, Mr. Gray something or another there, tag me again, brother. Tag me again, because, it's hard for me to do the show and look at levels and do all this stuff here. So I'd love for you to tag me again. Let me know what you're looking at there. That's the situation. Joey, what do you got?
Same thing, man. I'm just reading up this Marathon Digital story. If you guys aren't aware, Mar Holdings shares are trading higher after the company announced a definitive agreement to acquire a powered land site in Texas from HIF USA. So you can see that this name has climbed a little bit here today to the tune of around 13% or so, $14 and change. Now, if it's going to remain strong, I think there can be a good opportunity to get a reload on this bet, or an entry at least, and then maybe a continuation of that trend. It depends how deep this pullback is going to be. Let's head over to our watch list, guys. I want to add substantially here on this TQQ's trade, but if we do fail to put in a new high, I have to be aware of that as well, all right? Which it's kind of looking like right now. But Gaurav, look at this 5-minute print off of that bad boy. That's a thing of beauty as we take that a little bit higher. But what I was long off here, if you want to get into a little bit more detail, just being patient, allowing the selling pressure to cool down, and then we just long off of this candle, and then it's like long this, bang, off to the races it goes on that bad boy. There goes ARM up 10%, as Sharif was talking about earlier, but very illiquid, surprisingly so. Wow, Google getting absolutely slaughtered, taken to the woodshed here today, Katina, man. Google with a previous pivot high of $373, now down $20 just like that, and looking like it wants to head a little bit lower. Now, Tesla, this name, man, I was trading it over the past couple of days looking for some volume-weighted average price breaks. The one day I'm not even looking at it, obviously it does that setup. So a pretty good look over there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Applied Materials, Michael Burry, how's this? Up 6% here today. So not too bad of a look on that front. Now, ASML, whole lot of green this morning, and it's not what we were referring to yesterday. It was a lot of red across the board. It's good to see some things have somewhat of a turnaround. And there goes our good friend Robinhood, Sharif. Robinhood up to 116. We're really struggling around that 120 mark. With that being said, let's head over to our options chain and see what we have on this front. Boom, 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 boom. Robinhood there. Let's see what we have, 120, 12,200. And you can see we got that gamma exposure right there, Ozan, just in case you were curious about that one. A supply zone of 12,200 contracts still currently open at that level, and volume substantial that expired tomorrow at 27,000 contracts on that front. What is Marathon Digital telling us? And how much has the implied volatility uptick? 1,450. 34,000 contracts on that front, guys. So keep an eye out on that. That's probably going to be roughly around our high of the day is, and then 112% at the money IV. All right, so that's a big time uptick in implied volatility. Listen, for all the marathon, I know there's a couple people in the chat who live and die by Mara. Hey,
Patty, you in the chat?
Is it Patty and some other people?
Patty was his nickname on the floor. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joey. You knew him just as well as I did. Was he not the Mara indicator?
Brother, his life was easy. He came in, he knew what he was trading.
Right away.
That was it.
Right away. He sat down. He was either up big on Mara or down big on Mara. Love that guy, man.
It's either one.
Joey.
No way or the highway, baby.
There goes JLHL into $7. We got 610s on. We got one beak wetter left, and we're looking for 707. It's a theme here, lucky number 7, right? So Tisha, it now rejected 7. But Tisha is of the opinion, thank you, of course, Tisha, as always, for the $10 super chat. She's doing it live as she always does. JLHL room to 911. Dun, dun, dun. Then 1096. Need to get through the chop. Absolutely, Tish. Don't disagree with you at all. Now the question for me is, where am I adding into this monster, right? Because we're pretty much almost exhausted of shares. We only got in one full position. We didn't get into anything else, right? So we need a little bit more here. We're holding from 610. I'm looking for 707, but believe you and me, this comes back into the 6-ish area. Your boy's going to add with a tight stop, of course, below the 10 EMA. But right now, we're either going to take out 7 or we're going to reject. So let's see which way this cookie crumbles. Again, we touch 7, and again, the short sellers show their conviction. Above 7 we go, Mr. Options. 701, but no continuation. 3, 4, no continuation. But it's showing you that the buyers are stepping in, so much so that they're pushing this a couple of shekels above said what's it called? Level there. Bovin wants me to look at, let me see what the OG Bovin. Bovin wants me to have a look at, where's Bovin's message, man? There it is, Bovin, MTTRY. Let's look at MTTRY for the OG Bovin. MTT, this is on the, obviously, OTC, MTTRY. Let me, I don't know if I have data permissions. I do, okay, cool.
Were you trading Trax NYC?
I'm looking at it.
It's not very liquid, is it?
No, brother, and that's one of the things that I was saying. But MTTRY, Bovin, this is at the high of the day, right? Let me put this on the side chart here, MTTRY, so it updates. Yeah, see, that's the problem, Bovin. I get delayed data for the OTC markets on my platform, so I'm gonna have to load it up here. I won't be able, bless you, Joe. I won't be able to do it on the MTTRY. Neil, if I wanna do OTC, what's the gateway that I select? For OTC, for MTTRY, what gateway am I selecting? Market, sorry, yeah. PK, thank you. Thank you, Neil. No, it's not loading up there. MTT, did I type it right? MTTRY, yeah. No, it's not. It's probably something else, OTC. I'll have to figure this out. It's a different one. Yeah, see, that's the problem, Bovin. I'm so seldomly trade these ones. On the MX? No, it's not on the MX either. I'll check it out, Bovin. I'll check it out, and I'll get back to you. But anyway, JLHL is my focus at the moment, Joey.
Yeah, good stuff. C. Castroism, whatever you got going on there. Like, listen, man, those things kind of go like, I know what you mean, but like, man, we can't have our eyes on absolutely everything at the exact same time. I like wrap. I like the way the look of this one's jib. I mean, breaking through this double top right here, $2.38, and now punching through. Now we want to see if we're going to get a little bit of a hold there, 247 so far. So yeah, not too bad of a look there. I have my eyes on the NASDAQ, guys. You can see my one position. It's been cooking up for us here today, and we're looking to add substantially to it. And then also we have our eyes on Mara. Right, MARA, just in case there's any form of a pullback. Robinhood's been strong as well, too. So a nice, strong session here. As soon as they just dump Bitcoin and they're like, yeah, we're going to get involved in the cloud and just the whole data center biz, you get an 89% return off of the lows, which is almost 100%. I mean, there it is, some strong activity. Now, a pullback into VWAP. We're rocking and rolling on this one, looking for the continuation in today's strength. So patience is key. All right, patience is key, so we'll continuously wait for that.
Joey?
Yeah.
Can I mention something, please?
Of course.
Wrap,
Yeah.
not warp. What's going on with me? Wrap. WRAP. There it goes. Now, it's up to 249. So now we're knocking on the door of that $0.50. But what we did get there, if it closes this way, who called it out, man? Let me just call them. I had this one on the side chart, but I want to shout them out. GCA Strozum? I don't know how to say your name, brother. Is there a name that you have that I can just call you by? Because you're trading small cap, so you're in my good books immediately. WRAP, though, if it closes this way and doesn't end up being like the 10-10 candle, then this is a breakout from the upward channel. And then that means that when we come back and test the upward channel resistance, I'm talking about 240 or two low 40s, then I punch for a possible move back into 250. So WRAP, thank you for bringing that to my attention because I didn't see the breakout. I was too busy with JLHL, which just dumped Joseph options into 613. Is that Max? What's going on over there, Katina, man? Katina, man. Max must be long Nvidia with the Katina man right now. Where are you long, Katina man? 2? No, 199.50. Katina man is $2 in the money as it's knocking on the door of $2. But what I'm trying to do here,
Get it right,
1,
bro.
2, 3.
Get it right.
There we go.
Jeez.
Yo, bro, come on, man. That's an entire dollar with the amount of shares he's taking.
You know what I mean?
We already know there, right?
But I'm saying, bro, don't mess around.
Don't mess around.
Don't mess around.
You know that song,
man.
Do the Mess Around? You know that song?
Yeah, what song is that?
Yeah,
that was a
man, that's
classic.
a classic.
Oh, too bad we
Do the
can't
Mess
play
Around.
it.
Yeah. Well, that's what they used to do, Joey. It was like the twist or something like that, right?
Man.
I wouldn't know, though, Joey. I'm not that ancient. But back above 650, we go here on JLHL. And are we going to punch in here, Joey? I'm gonna punch, looking for the $0.50 hold, looking for a little bit more into the high 60s, and there it goes. Looking for a little bit more now. We're looking for the 50 hold here, okay? Because we added into a winning position. We want to give back a lot. So we're going to go ahead, set up some beak wetters. Let's see what kind of juice this one has. Changes my cost basis to 659. Let me just take a quick look here at the 5-second chart to spot areas of localized support and resistance on JLHL. Load, please. Down below 50 it goes. Yeah, my chart is taking its sweet time to load. I do apologize about that, but there seems to be a 47 buyer, give or take. Okay, so if this one loses 611, there will have been a decided breakdown. But I definitely needed to get above 665. That's where we had resistance last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right at 30, right below 30. So let's go ahead, throw that on there, and then we'll take the subjectivity out of it. And for this many shares, of course, right? My days.
What was for, I missed the what was for lunch.
Something Scandinavian. I don't know. Dara was talking about it. Neil was, or Sean was talking about it. I'm not exactly sure. What are you looking at, though, Joey? Because wrap I know you're looking at small caps these days. WRAP is back above the $0.50. You might be interested in that.
All right, man. IKEA meatballs. Oh, we'll take that all day, Gabs. Or Swedish meatballs. Yeah, all right, nice, man. Good quality stuff on that one. No, Shadow Rap, seriously. Like, I know what you mean by this. Market is slow today. But, like, come on, brothers. Like, why is Micron dead? Like, are we being serious over here? And I know it's a genuine question. Why does everything always get mixed up on my end? There's Micron here. Just because it's not going absolutely parabolic doesn't mean it's dead. Here's Micron. Like, come on, man. Just because it's cooled down a little bit at this point, I understand that's a slower session and a lot of drop, but what else do we expect? We have SK Hynix coming to market tomorrow as well, which unfortunately I will not be here for.
That's
it's going to be your boy Obi sitting in this seat as I am off on an adventure because that's what I like to do. But other than that, guys, Micron, things are cooling down, right? Just don't forget, like, we can't just go up all the time. And now I understand that we're facing a consolidation and some toppy type price action. We were down from the peak to the local low 30%. But you also have to take into fact from March of 26, within the same year, you get 306%. Things just don't go up all the time. They do cool down here and there. And I think that's just the stage that we're in right now. Let's send it over to the desk. We got the Euro closes with Juan.
It is 11:30 a.m. on the dot, which means the European markets just closed their doors for the day. But what is worth remembering and keeping an eye out for next time from that session? That's what Juan is here to tell us. Let's get right into it.
Thank you, Dara. Hello, everyone. So, European markets stabilizing after Wednesday's brutal sell-off. That was triggered by President Trump basically announcing the declaration, the ceasefire agreement between U.S. and Iran was over. But if we take a look at some of the indices right now, SOXX Euro 600, the regional index, up 0.75%, had a huge break, especially a 1.6% surge across the technology sector, which is a good thing. DAX Germany also up by about 0.82%. That was helped on by Infineon. They were up by about 3.1%, pushing the tape for a little bit higher. France also caught a bid, 0.76% up to the upside. The only problem that I saw in Europe was in the UK. They were heavily penalized last night, especially off news of AstraZeneca's massive 9% plunge. We'll get into that in a little bit. So, like I mentioned earlier, the big AI and chip sectors, they caught a major structural bid in Europe. Reports that China may be allowing domestic firms to use their Nvidia's H200 chips. That helped chip makers surge on increased infrastructure spending. We got the likes of Siltronic gaining about more than 7%. Soitec rose by more than 5%. Even ASML, they were up by about 2.5%. Good signs there. Now, about AstraZeneca, that was the one in the red in the UK. They went down 9%. That was following a late-stage trial failure over their disease or nerve disease drug called Wainua. That's co-developed by Ionis. Listen to this, 20 billion pounds off the company's market cap. That's huge to the downside. So hopefully they bounce back off of that. And another thing that caught my eye was in Spain. We know that previously, especially during NATO, Trump was saying threatening trade ties over defense spending, but then Trump said in quotation marks that Spain was very generous. So that helped trigger a relief rally in Spain. And IBEX 35, they were up by more than 1%, erasing their 3-week lows. So a really good sign for Spain.
Yeah, it looks like the Trump bounce or the Trump turnaround can happen no matter what country your stock is trading in. Here's that IONS, by the way, as well, that one mentioned. This is also down sharply on that AstraZeneca news. So lots of really applicable stuff here. Thanks again to One. You can see him again, guys, at 3:30 p.m. to talk about the Asian market, which I'm sure will be very worth discussing ahead of that SK Hynix IPO. We'll see you guys then.
I just heard ASML. That's all I heard.
All I hear is jackhammering.
Yeah, we do apologize. I don't know if you guys are able to hear it on your side, but of course the other side of the office is under construction. If you've been watching us for a while now, you know that we were under construction for almost a year. Now it's the other side's turn. The nice thing about the other side is they get to work from home though, so they don't have to listen to this. So shout out to them. Lucky. All right, continuing to watch here, guys. We're back into JLHL at 13s, lucky number 13. I'm looking for a hold off 6. Here comes the $0.25. No continuation, sadly, through that $0.25. We'll wet the beak here. Looking for 33s next. 23, 24 seller, can't shake them. I also got into WRAP. I'm looking for exactly what I said I'm looking for last time. The hold of that breakout trend line, right? Because we had an upward channel on WRAP. We broke above it. And now I'm looking for it to hold. So that's what I'm watching here, Joey. We're looking for a bigger move up on JLHL, possibly to reclaim trend. We got 13s on, but we're by no means out of the water here. And we're also looking for WRAP to hold above the previous resistance 9, now acting as support.
All right, man, good stuff. Let's see what we got going on in the bank sector as well, too, guys. We'll get into that momentarily as I pull some more things up. Landed in Canada on 8th. Should I visit Toronto and see the new office? Last year was, it's Nimit.
Nimit.
Brother, you know what you got to do,
missed
brother.
Nimit,
Yeah,
man. Where you been, Nimit?
Pulled up in Toronto, man.
That's
so
crazy.
He's out here.
Love Nimit,
hey,
man.
brother,
Good
you know
vibe.
what to do. Hit up, do the exact same thing, because I personally have no control of that. Do whatever you did last time, and they'll get in contact. I'm not here tomorrow, so maybe, hopefully, you'll get to come pass by and see everybody here once again. Other than that, man, let's rock and roll. Head over to the banking sector and see what we have on that front. JPM up 1.4%, $335. A nice strong session here. Also paying out its dividend on Monday there, Sharif, just in case you were curious on that one. And now
I like divvies, Joey.
Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs have been performing extremely well. That might be the best name, to be honest.
Good. It is.
It's
I
really
gotta
good.
give you get that one.
As 1.2% off of the all-time high. So some nice recovery here in some of the financial names. Now, as for Robinhood, guys, this name's up to 116. We can't break 120, Sharif. Hopefully we do sooner rather than later, because I feel if it takes longer, then we have a more potential and the bigger chance of us breaking down a little bit. Right now, my hyper focus is on this trade. It's been a great one, but we want to make it even better, all right? So we're waiting for that pullback. Maybe 72 or 75.20 is what I have to wait for, or VWAP. Those are my only entry points. And with that being said, I have to deal with the size that I have right now. It can continue to appreciate in price, or we get that pullback and that good quality opportunity to hammer their shares. But the longer it takes, the less I like it, as I was stating before on this Robinhood breakout as well, too.
All right, man. JLHL about very close to breaching prior bar high. Prior bar high is 659er. This bar high 655. We need a breach of prior bar high. Sorry, guys, when I'm yelling, I actually don't mean to yell. It's just because I can't hear myself because of the thing of the drilling there. And so when it stops, I hear that I'm yelling, and I really don't mean to. Get out of here, Randy. He's trying to get me to yell again. This guy, bro.
Randy's off tomorrow too, man.
Yeah, well, that's what he does, Joey. There we go. We breached prior bar high. Have we? No, 57s. We're still below 59s. I'm looking for a little bit more. All right, Tiffany, what's going on over there? So that's what I'm looking for here, guys. JLHL. We don't have that much left off that 6 bounce. And I got to tell you the truth. I'm not looking at adding a bigger position until we resume trend. So far, we're still lower high, lower high, lower high off that 703 touch and drop, right? So it's not the time to add the big boy shares. You need to reverse the downtrend in order to, add here. In 630, we're coming back down. If we don't breach 659, I'm moving my stop up to break even. That's my plan on JLHL. My plan on WRAP is to hold it into 40, but I will have to give it room to 37. And I say that because that's a 10 EMA on the 5. So we're not getting that big move up above the $0.50 quite yet, which is what I was banking on here. Let me move up my stop now to break even on this one, and we'll have to give it a little bit of room, Joe, because quite frankly, there could be an area of illiquidity here. Iman.
Whoa.
Iman U06. Wow. Cracks dead. VRAX. Let's have a look. I remember that one was moving. Take a quick look there. VRAX. I wouldn't say it's dead. No, that would be the wrong characterization. What I'd say is it's found equilibrium here between buyers and sellers right around the volume weighted average price. Iman, that white line on the black charts is the volume weighted average price on all my black charts. And look at this, we're kind of straddling it both as support and resistance. So first things first, man, we have to break this downtrend. It keeps making lower highs, right? We need to get above that 11.5 to change the trend, right? Because if we continue to pop up, say 10.5, 11, and then we drop again, that would be yet another lower high. That's not the move. We need higher highs if you're looking long. So that's what I would say first. First and foremost, you got to get above 10, and then you got to get above 11.5 to regain trend. It doesn't mean you can't have a scalp trade off it, because oftentimes what a lot of the small cap traders do in the chat is they're just scalping for 10, 15 penny moves with big share size. And that's their modus operandi. To me, I'd rather take a little bit less share size and take a bigger move. So that's my cup of tea. That's what I have to say about that. What's up, Joey?
What's up, Mayor? Yeah, Google, Apple's going nuts. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. MARA.
We're gonna do this right now.
Bang.
Joey.
Okay, yeah. This is what we want to see, right? So we've had this strong up move. Now we're starting to pull back a little bit to find any form of continuation. What we're going to do, Gorev, Los Pollos. I haven't seen Los in the chat. I've seen you, Gorev. Hopefully your day's going good, brother.
Someone said you're better off buying Enron. That's just like the ultimate dunk. Who is this?
Who is that?
Shell LOL. Tell me, brother, what are you referring to? Are you talking about VRAX, the one that I was just looking at there? Because I really want to hear what the comparison is, because that's funny. You remember Enron, Joe?
Enron, no.
Yeah. So really interesting documentary. If you and Selena want to watch something, maybe it's kind of intellectual, kind of.
Yeah, well, you have to get Love Island off of my TV first before I can watch.
Block it when she's not there,
brother.
No, but hold on, for real. Smartest Guys in the Room. That's the name of the documentary. The Smartest Guys in the Room.
Yeah.
And it's about, it was like in the early 2000s, 2, 3, 4, something like that, right? These guys had this energy company called Enron, based in Houston.
Yeah.
And then they started just diversifying into things that have nothing to do with energy, and it was all fugazi.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And then they all went bankrupt.
Is that what happened?
A lot of people lost their retirement.
A lot of money?
And not just that, it's like 401ks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Very interesting documentary, man.
That's what happened. You got to watch out for those Ponzi and pyramid schemes, Sharif.
There you go.
So there's Marathon Digital, guys. We're not quite at the volume weighted average price just yet, so we'll hold off here just in case this is a slight uptick. Other than that, there is some good signals across the board. DRAM, I just kind of want to avoid at this moment because it's pretty choppy. I want to find something that's a little bit more directional. And with that being said, would be one more pullback into this level, and then we're going to be rocking and a rolling. Have you ever heard of an individual named Sam Lee?
Sam Lee?
Yeah.
No.
He was, okay, so anyways, it's the same thing. Like, so he started like these crypto kind of networks and stuff like that, and then just created this massive pyramid scheme in Australia, and then sure enough, he lost everybody's money doing that. Moves to Dubai, where they call it multi-level marketing, where right, there's like a fine line between a pyramid scheme and multi-level marketing, obviously. And he's just doing the exact same thing.
Is he there scot-free?
Yeah, he's just doing his thing over there, man.
Does anybody know how to get to him?
There's no extradition. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Not that kind of.
I know, but I mean, eventually somebody will.
Because you know what happened to the crypto king in this country. You know about that, right?
Yeah. That kid, man.
Yeah, that kid. He got roughed up.
He did got roughed.
You take money from the mob.
He got kidnapped.
He got roughed up. Like, it's not.
Because he just lost everyone's money.
They don't take losing their money lightly when it comes to that kind of thing.
No,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
So if you invest your money in that type of stuff, and then all of it's gone. Joe, you good? I'm cold, man. That's what I am right now. Here, let's take a little bit more, but what I am also is somewhat profitable on this trade. The T-Triple Q 75.97 as we piece a little bit more out. Man, we're not getting that reload as Apple has really helped drag the market higher, and a big-time recovery in Meta here. So there it is, guys. Not too bad of a look across the board. The only name lagging at this point, I mean, Google's down 2.4%, but NVDA putting up back-to-back strong sessions, having the inability to continue its climb on a 3-day streak here up into that 210 marker that Ozan and I were talking about. I mean, we're not going to completely write it off just yet, but hey, man, still relatively weak right now.
If I could make a suggestion, you need to like video with Ozan or something, because he has such
Yeah, you were saying that.
Very, very basic but specific indicator that he looks at in the Greeks.
Yeah.
That give
Why don't
him.
you just tell me, man?
Because it's hard for me to regurgitate information that I'm so new at. You know what I mean?
okay,
Like I'll
yeah.
do it a disservice. Whereas he will tell you like, you know, the real deal. And the thing is, to me, he's explaining it to me, and I don't have a great options background. Sure, if he explained it to you, you'd absorb it a lot more, and then you could explain it to me.
He's a gamma boy. Yeah. Okay, I see where you are there. Yeah, man.
No, actually,
issues with
no. It's he uses the Greeks, and it's pretty specific. I think he's got a couple of indicators that you may have to pay for because he's going on this website. Zen, tag me, brother. Let me know what website you're using for that kind of thing because I'd like to pass it on.
Do you have him on Instagram or anything?
I do have him on Instagram.
Okay, so Zen, how about you DM Sharif and I'll read it and then maybe I can put it into.
Wants to make no effort, eh?
Who, me? Well, I don't have. How am I gonna contact him?
Get Instagram.
I'm not doing that. I'm not getting. Dude, I'm 33 years old, turning 34. I'm not getting Instagram at this point.
What does that even mean? All right, man. I don't even know.
Because of Mark Zuck.
SRXH says TT Mass. Let's have a look. SRXH. Let me have a SRXH. There we go. Halted? What is this, TT Mass? It says down, though. Okay. Is it news pending? Yes, I think it is news pending. They're purchasing 10 million shares here. Authorizes board to purchase 10 million shares. Halted on circuit breaker. This says circuit breaker though, so probably not news pending. Let me know what you find out about this. SRXH. It's very small market cap, 17 2/3. I will give you my phone number to give to him. Perfect. Okay. Zen, message me on Instagram. Let me know what your number is, and then you and Joey Options can have like a bedtime chat or whatever there. You guys are gonna do. Shout out to my man Zen. We're having a good time. Guys, I want to mention something. That Open Door is finding a good deal of support here at the volume weighted average price. So I'm interested in getting back into the door here, but I feel like I missed my spot, man. This one gave me 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes holding the volume weighted average price. I missed it. And the problem with this one is it's still putting in lower highs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually wait for a new higher high. So 533 breakout there. We'll look for that. 533 on OPEN. I'm not doing that well, guys, on WRAP. I'm 2-3 pennies out of the money here. It is coming into the 10 EMA. I'm going to give it to 234. 234 will be my line in the sand on WRAP. I mean, yeah, it feels like it's going to flat bottom break, quite frankly, through 240. Even though 240 was a really good area of support. Let's give this one another try over here. Since it's so close to my stop out area, I'll just give it a little bit of a second to see if it does find support right around the 10 EMA as well as the breakout area. But I'm not really liking anything anymore. TRAX at VWAP, by the way. Anybody who wants that, it's a bit more expensive. Obi's in the house. Right around 27 3/4. That's VWAP. That's TRAX from a 30-20 high, but not really that great looking at the moment. Lasers, okay. FVRO. If there are any other small cap gappers that I haven't mentioned, guys, I'd love for you guys to tag me. Let me know which ones are moving because sometimes it's hard to look at the scanner as well, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. No, man, guys, to be honest with you, I just never had it. And it doesn't matter. I don't judge people. Everybody I know has it. I just personally don't. Yeah, it's not that I don't do it, Sharif. I just never, like, that stuff never really. Yeah, exactly. I've just always been okay, man. Listen, I tell everybody this story. My grandparents, when I would be oh my God, I got all out of my position. How? Anyways, I guess I'm all out of there. I don't know. I didn't think I got all out. Anyways, my grandparents used to lock me in my room when I would be misbehaving until they realized that I liked being isolated and alone. And then they realized it wasn't punishment anymore because I enjoyed it. So they would find other ways to, and that's just how I always been as an individual. But yeah, it's unfortunate, guys. Here it is.
That's hilarious.
It's true,
so,
man.
Like, I just like being alone, so get the hell away from me.
Yeah. It's true, man. It's just how I've always been. Anyways, I don't know what happened here, guys. I got all out of my position there. I didn't mean to, and I apologize. Actually, I don't apologize for that. it is what it is, but it was a nice trade. We got the bottoms, and then bang, off to the races. We go all the way up to the top. I wanted to grab this reload right here at 74.90. That is going to be a full average price at that point. Or sorry, my initial price, right? Because I won't have any shares left. So we're going to be looking for a next opportunity, especially if we're rolling like this, man. We want to try to make it as big as possible. But unfortunately, I don't see anything that I'm in love with right now. NVDA not doing the dance that I wanted to. The SPY is actually performing a lot better than what we're seeing here on the NASDAQ, as the SPY is at a high of the day, Sharif, and we're not at the high of the day quite yet here on the TQQQs. But what we do have is a super chat. Thoughts on Aston Martin, RGGY-ADR, AMLL London. Okay, luxury cars. What do you feel about the Aston Martin there? I like it.
Bro, let me show you the one that my neighbor has.
007
black
one.
On lime green. Here it is, man. Oh my days. Here, this is the one. No, that's not the one. He's got this.
It still looks sick.
Dude, it is. Oh my days. Okay. Open doors coming to the breakout area. OPEN, guys. He's got this. Okay, it's this one here. And it's got lime green interior. He's got the cabriolet, so the convertible one. Sia, what do you think of this? Because I know you love cars. Aston Martin. Okay, let me make it bigger for you. Okay, so here, this is open Lincoln new window, and then this one as well, because this is the interior. So I just want to show this. The Vantage, Aston Martin Vantage. Your mic is not on, Sia. Let me just open. Here it is.
Yeah, all good.
Look at this, bro. Oh my days. He's got this exact model.
V8?
Eh?
The V8 supercar?
The V8, yeah. The Aston Martin Vantage. He parks 3 or 4 spots down for me, and he always puts the tarp on, obviously. I would too. Right?
Tarp on.
Yeah.
How are the meatballs,
I told you about
Randy?
this one. Randy, I've told you about my neighbor who has this, the cabriolet, black on lime green. It's so nice. The Vanquish. Randy likes the Vanquish.
Whatever James Bond was driving.
Whatever, yeah, he drives. I mean, I absolutely love this car, man.
DBX 707.
DBX 707. Sia, what do you think?
Yo, this is really sick.
This is really sick, right?
No, because I'm looking at the engine and the horsepower and stuff.
Yeah.
You know I like loud cars.
I know you do.
Yeah, this is a loud car.
Oh, it's very loud, Sia. I hear him turning it on from my apartment upstairs. No,
there
it's
you
an
go.
exaggeration.
That's the car. That's how a car should be. Wait, hold on.
All right.
How many colors does this come in?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question.
Ram wants to know your address and then when your neighbor goes to sleep.
Oh, Ram. Come on, Ram. We can't do that. But here's the chart, guys, on Aston Martin. This is an ADR. And obviously, it's seen better days, Joey.
There's a Vantage, then there's a Vantage Roadster, then there's a Vantage S.
He has, I'm pretty sure the Roadster, is the Roadster the Cabriolet?
The coupe, yeah.
The Roadsters, well, they're all coupes, I think, right? But
Really?
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's any that are 4-door. Guys, this is not a good looking chart, man. I really don't mean to poop on anybody's party, but this is a very bad chart. I don't know if this is split adjusted, okay? Because TradingView doesn't show me, at least on my setup here, the split adjustment. Locally, it's just an unbroken downtrend. Look at that head and shoulders breakdown.
I just don't feel like it's one of the more popular, supercars.
No, it's certainly not. But is it a good investment? I mean, it depends on their costs.
Yeah.
It depends on their, obviously revenue and profits and everything like that. But the chart here is not suggestive of a buy at all. And I hate to sound like that, but it's not. So I do apologize. Although, despite the fact that I love the car. Fantastic. I love British cars, man. You guys know I have that Jag.
I would get the McLaren if I was getting.
It's a little bit cheaper than the McLaren.
Yeah, big time. But if I was going supercar route, it would be that
McLaren. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
sports.
that.
The mods on this car would be beautiful too.
What do you mean?
Like if you personally take it to the shop and you'd be able to work on the cars.
Yeah.
You can just see a matte green, a cherry red, and a pink would look pink for me. It looks so good.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's still sick. Guys, open door is really going here, and here we go. We are about a penny away from the high of the day. 536, 538, pardon me, is the high of the day. So we're really moving up here on open door. And if we take out the high of the day, then my buy automatically is going to be 550. So I'm watching this one intently. I'm also watching the one that Bovin called out and TT Mass, by the way, TDTH. This is continuing to move into 274 is the high of the day. Back down, though, into 250. I'm looking for a hold of 250 here, Buvin. I don't know how you feel about this, but keeping a close eye here on TDTH for a hold of the $0.50. Currently, it's, putting in a hammer candle, inverse, what's it called? Topping tail, bottoming tail candle. So we'll see if this one holds. I could definitely get involved with TDTH up 37%. Macro Hernandez. Sharif, Mustang, Eleanor all day. Love American muscle, man. Who's going to complain about that? But I think it's just a bit different, right? British styling for, English cars, a little bit different than American styling. So I can get behind both.
I think European cars are just more stylish.
I like European cars.
Yeah, man.
I have no problem with that.
I got no issues. Hey, man, if it gets you to point, I'm not even going to say. Actually, I will say it gets you to point A to point B, then
it does.
The same. All right, guys. Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla and see how that's been performing here today. Man, I'm trading this over the past couple of days, and then it's just funny how it works. Sometimes the day that you're not looking at it is when it does stuff like this. So here it is, bang, a nice little move there. NVDA, maybe this can get rolling at some point, but I think it's just too risky for me to start buying at the top end of this range. So what we would do is have to post at the lower end. But I believe there's other stronger names. Now, ARM up 11%, Intel not looking too bad around these lows either, guys. So a lot of potentials, and then we can most definitely head over to small cap land and see how RAP is looking. I know I was looking to look at that one here not too long. Is RXT
going, baby.
Good buying opportunity? Is that what you're in right now?
RAP, yeah.
Oh no, RXT is what I was.
No,
I thought
that was a holdover.
Rack Space.
Yeah,
Rack Space. Yeah, it's a good buying opportunity. I don't know enough about this, man. To be honest with you, let's head over to the daily and see what we got going on. But RAP's still going for you. Hey, this is a pullback, man. If you were looking at anything around the lows, wait till that level's breached, okay? And which I believe we're going to be on that trajectory. Then you're going to be looking at some opportunities around this 287 level, $3. That's going to be your next key level of support. If that doesn't hold up, then it's probably going to continue to sell a little bit. Here, let's pull this up over here. Show report dropped on this name, not Bloom Energy, Sharif, another name that was just going absolutely insane for quite some time, finding its footing at this point now. But how has Bloom Energy been performing here today? A name that's also been on a pretty big run, and I think you'll be able to get at a half-decent discount. Wow, okay. We're down 24% from this level. That's interesting.
But it's in a range.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's range. It's range.
But you're right. You're absolutely right.
It's range. There's that key support level. Anything south of 245, I think, could be a good potential purchase here on Bloom Energy. Other than that, guys, I'm looking for Marathon Digital to pull back, and I think that's going to give us an opportunity for the long. We're holding VWAP right now, but it's just a breath before it takes that additional leg lower.
All right, man. We're doing really well here on RAP. No, I can't say that. Into 52 it goes. Joseph Options, the high of the day is 55. We have struggled, though, ladies and gentlemen, to clear that $0.50 decisively. So I am very interested to see if we can take out my beak wetter there at the high of the day. I put this one strategically placed at 55 just to kind of get a gander at what kind of short seller or profit taker we have at the high of the day, because that's often where they set up. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. Buvin, I'm in TDTH over here, Buvin. I'm looking for it to hold the 10 EMA, which is right around 35, Buvin. I've gotten in at 53. I'm not doing well on TDTH here, but 40 seems to be the breakout level. I've given it a little bit of room below 40. Let's see how this cookie crumbles, man. I'm giving TDTH the old community college try, or the JUCO try, as my boy Joey Options would call it. But that's what I'm saying. Wow, the yelling has now moved into the chat. Everyone with caps. Shout out to Lemon family. Buvin says there is a pre-market high touch on TDTH of 242. Great to know, Buvin. So 242, that should be support then, because that's a former area of resistance. It's the 42 hold on TDTH. Understood. Okay, I like where you're going with that, Buvin. So we'll see how this cookie crumbles. We're also waiting for the cookie to crumble or whatever here on WRAPs. I'm looking for a bigger move up. Now, Open Door did disappoint me. Sadly, I didn't get involved with it, but it set up almost as a double top. Look at that breach by a penny, I believe, 536.5 into 538. Or 530, yeah, it says 538, but it's 537, and now it's coming back down. Let's see if it holds VWAP at 520. If it presents me with another opportunity at 520, I think I'd be obligated to take it. Also, JLHL is not looking good here whatsoever. There seems to be a seller in and around $6. It lost trend from 703. Sure, it's above VWAP, but it's got to get, number one, above $6. Number two, it's got to get a bit above the 10 EMA. And number three, it has to breach prior bar high, of which it's done none. None of that. So there we go. Looking for a nice move here on wrap. Into 53 we go. We wet the beak, and we continue holding, looking for that bigger move. Long Brady, you think it's a short? On what, brother? On open door? Let me know, Brady. Be specific, brother, because I mentioned so many different names. It's hard for me to know exactly which one you're referring to. Shout out to Long Brady. Yeah, Joey, what are you looking at?
Same thing here, man. I guess we got it happening now, maybe soon.
Well, whenever they're ready.
Whenever they're ready.
Yeah, open. Okay, so I'll take this one, Joey.
Plug.
Look, I got to tell you, Long Brady, I'm not shorting open door until it loses the volume weighted average price quite decisively. So 2 areas I'd be looking at, Long Brady. Number one, area low right there. I'm talking about the 11:30 candle on the 5-minute chart, the low of which is $5.17.5. That would be area number one. I would consider shorting. Number two, I'd be looking at this double bottom over here. Look at these 2 candles, 10:15 and 10:20 on the 5-minute chart, the low of which is 5.11. It would either be this area or this area. A loss of this area over here or this area over here would be the areas that I'd be interested in shorting. I personally have a rule that I don't short above the volume weighted average price. I know a lot of people do it differently, but that's their style, not mine, right? So we're gonna leave that, and we're just gonna send it to Sia for happening now, and Neil, lesson of the day. But before we do, WRAP into the high of the day it goes. Now it is $2.60. We've got, what's it called on here, Joey? We got 41s. We're looking for a decisive take of 50. We want to use 50 as support, right? Not resistance. So let's see if it holds. And while we wait for that, Sia will tell you about this.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon. Let's take a look at how the major averages are doing right now. We have the SPY up 0.60% at the moment. The triple Q's up very close to 1.5%. We have the Dow up 0.27% and the IWM up 1.1%. So investors have continued to pivot into the semiconductors and away from the hyperscalers as of today. So semiconductors have rallied with the iShares Semiconductor ETF, that's the SOXX, higher more than 5% on the day. The Round Hill Magnificent 7 MAGS ETF is down by 0.6% on the day. And let's talk about Nvidia for a second here. We have, according to TD Cowen, so Nvidia has a much wider range of applications in the market, does recognize, which makes it a strong addition to investors' portfolios. And the bank has a buy rating on Nvidia, naming it a top pick. It also has a $275 price target on its shares, implying a 35% upside on yesterday's close. With that, we have Nvidia down on the day 1.07%. But let's pause before we go back to the guys, because Neil, tell us your lesson for the day.
Thank you, Sia. Lesson of the day is, and it's an important one. I want you to listen up to this one, Sharif. Short above VWAP. No. I mean, look, you don't have to have set rules for all of your trading, but I think one of the rules that I like in trading is you don't have to fall on a certain sword. You don't have to stick to only one concept or one idea. One of the best things about the market, and I said this morning, these conversations happen all the time where it's like, oh, one person's like, oh, I like the way this person trades. I don't like the way that person trades. And it goes back and forth. And I said something back in the chat to someone who was like, oh, but I like the way Neil thinks. Disagreeing with someone else. I go, you really actually want to see people that have different ideas. Like if when I look at a trade, or Sharif or Sean or anybody looks at a trading idea and nobody out there thought that was, oh, I don't think that's right, or I think that's a short when you're looking into a long, if that wasn't true, there would be no market. That's the entire point. So you want to have these ideas. That being said, there are so many different stocks to trade in a given day. News will come out of nowhere. Trends will break. Guaranteed, you will be able to find opportunities in almost whatever style it is that you have if you're patient enough to wait for them. And in that vein, I think sometimes you don't know where your bread's going to be buttered. Now, did I like Nvidia this morning? Did we catch some bids off of our 202 level? Yeah, there were a couple of decent bounces that gave you a buck, maybe a little bit more than that. But when it lost that area, I'm done. Bye-bye. I'm going to go find something else. I'm going to find a long, because I sit it out, and then the next $3 down, I'm like, nope, I don't want to be losing any more on that. And it could be something that you were already looking at, and that's not really the point of it. I can go to something like a DRAM, wait for like something that was stronger to show up at VWAP, and then just start trying to go long off of this one. Or you can just put your ear to the ground and look for setups that you like. One of which you can end up getting. I end up getting fortunate with DJT. You guys heard it. Like the second there was that DJT news, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a fade. I'm not messing. I'm done with the whole messing around with Nvidia. So now the head's on the swivel, and then I can just wait for another setup, which was, by the way, shorting above VWAP. And I worked that one back in there somewhere. And it has nothing to do with the volume weighted average price. No, it's just that the news story, sometimes when you react to news, if you have an edge where it's a specific stock, or it's just like maybe you have a good reason to believe the headline is fugazi and not fundamentally great, or the stock has a history of doing that kind of a reversal, it doesn't really make a difference. Once you see it, it's a very simple concept. I went right over to my 15-minute. I'm like, where am I going to be able to find some resistance? If we start to show some selling above there, like right on the line back through this prior resistance level and this prior close area, that's exactly where I just said, if it turns here, short. Get some out into VWAP, hold for 850, get yourself a 2-to-1 trade, and then that's it. Like most days, you'll sit there all day long looking for a 2-to-1 trade. If I was still trading Nvidia in that moment, I don't know how many more times I have to lose before it goes to the upside. Or I stop, one shot happens in DJ2, and boom, there's a 2-for-1 trade. And it doesn't happen if I don't move over. If I don't stop, look for something different, look for another opportunity, whether it was picking up DRAM or waiting for news to hit or waiting for a volume spike or looking at a scanner, keeping that head on a swivel and keeping an open mind. Because I promise you, if you've developed any kind of a trading style, everyone's going to be different. Sharif's going to be looking at the small cappers. I'll see him exit a small capper, and then he's like, oh, he's got 5 more charts up. Okay, we're waiting for this to happen on this one or that to happen on this one. Because sometimes you got to get off the bus and find a new ride, right? Like yesterday, my train broke down on the way to work. Is what it is. So I had to hop on the shuttle bus so I could get in here. Or I could have stubbornly just sat on the train that's not moving and cry about it. No, you can't do that. And the market's going to give you so many opportunities. If you have an idea of what it is that you're looking for and the stock you're trading isn't doing it, then hop off the bus and go find a better ride. It's better than being stubborn about it. And this wouldn't be true if we lived in a world where everybody could only trade one thing. Imagine the only thing you could trade is the SPY. And every single person on the planet had to trade the SPY, then I get it. You got to have a thesis there. You got to try to figure it out. That's not the world that we're living in the market. You got small caps, mid caps. You've got different sectors. You've got ETFs for those sectors. There's a million places that you can express a trade. You don't have to be stubborn about it. You can take a step back. You can find another setup. And it only really ever takes one if you have that risk to reward. So, that's a pretty simple lesson of the day. Wish you guys all the best of the luck. I mean, this market is determined, absolutely determined to try to get to that 2%. The NASDAQ, I should say, not the SPY. Man, forget the SPY, 0.7%. What are we doing here, SPY? Get out of here. 1.5%. We're trying to get to 2% over there on the NASDAQ. Hopefully, DRAM can help lead the way because I want it to continue to go up. And we got a headline before I throw you guys back. Google introducing AI disclosure labels on ads for search and YouTube. I feel like there should, some of them YouTube shorts, they just keep, every time I see one that's obvious AI, I'm just not interested. And they still keep showing up in my feed. And they're so obvious, man. Anyways, that's my mind review. I love YouTube, but that's one of my mind reviews. Too much AI out there. If that's your cup of tea, it's certainly not mine. But the NASDAQ into 2% would be my cup of tea today. Fire you guys back to the midday, and hopefully to Sharif shorting above VWAP.
Neil mentioned it here. I want to get back into it a little bit more detail, though. Google, as you guys saw on your screen there, it's up about like $1.20 or so since this move. So not a massive move here, but basically announcing they're going to be making AI and advertising more transparent by adding AI disclosure labels on ads for both search and YouTube. Apparently, the disclosure will be added in each ad in the My Ad Center panel automatically, which also gives advertisers the option to show if they use generative AI. So it sounds like this is going to be the advertiser's choice whether to add them or not. That could make things a bit complicated, but either way here, Geo, OGL, and Watch. And just a reminder, because I mentioned it a couple times, but I'll mention it again. With Google, what I found is they usually do these kind of blogs or press releases at 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. on the dot. In this case, looks like a 12 p.m. announcement here for Geo, OGL. Back to you.
All right, guys, VinFast continues to expand beyond vehicle sales this week. Specifically, VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan with VinFast VF6 vehicles, like those cars. Together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker VFS. Shout out to the great folks there at VinFast, who still have that, what's it called? That store in Yorkdale, by the way.
Do they? I
always go in there and look. I like the VF9. Like, they sell more of the VF8. But if you looked, have you ever looked at VinFast? Like,
I've seen a couple of them. I've never personally looked at.
You never looked at the VF9?
No,
it's actually pretty good,
I just see them on the road quite often, to be honest.
You still see them on the road?
Yeah. I've seen past one the other day. It was just beside me going down university.
Okay.
Speaking of university over here, SpaceX. I don't know. There's no correlation on that one there, Sharif. SpaceX starting to climb a little bit higher here, guys. I know a lot of people talking about Tesla, so I'm just looking for that next opportunity. We've put on one trade here today. Now we want to continue on this trajectory that we're currently on. Nice bounce off of VWAP. Buyer step in, bang, off to the races you go. And you're talking about $415 there, Ozan. Let's see if we got to get to 410 first. I think you might have said 410 or something along those lines. Anyways, aside from that, we're still weak on this bad boy with a lot of indecision on the 5-minute time frame starting to step in. Now, what I was thinking is, like, okay, we have inverted 1, inverted 2, but yet we're still grinding a higher here and a big time recovery in Meta. Dude, we're up $30 off the low, $35 plus here in META. Now breaking through some of the key resistance zones and the pre-market levels, but a couple of headlines under this, which we'll get into around that 1 o'clock time frame. Anyways, aside from that, like the NASDAQ SPY is strong. I need that next opportunity. And if it falls in small cap land, then by all means, I have no issues taking it. But where are those setups starting to display themselves? I'm not seeing anything. Now my charts are officially loading, so I can't look at, there it is. Wrap, how are you doing and how have you been performing? That high of the day break of 240 was more ideally my style of price action and momentum. You can see we had that double top being formed right there at that 235 marker, and then it breaks through with momentum and volume supporting that move. All right, so we talk about effort and result all the time, and that was on full display on the wrap breakthrough of the HOD. Now there is, JLHL, Sharif's in this one, as it looks like it's heading towards the high of the day. I don't mind the look of this one. It is curling over, Sharif. I might take a look at this one.
All right, bro. We just got in here, guys, at 15. Very small share size. I'm looking for the third of a dollar, then I'm looking for the $0.50. We're taking baby size relative to the initial position on this one because it is one of those ones where I feel it could be a bull trap. Right? We've talked about these ones before that have prolonged downtrends only to break above that downtrend or break out, I should say, of that downtrend and then suffer the same fate of heading down. In this case, it would be below 6, likely below the volume weighted average price. So we're looking for the third of a dollar. But I want to bring your attention to one that was mentioned a lot by individuals in the chat, SRXH. This one was halted down, news pending, okay? And it's now just opened up again, and it's ramping, okay? It was halted at 181. It is now halted at 270, okay? So SRXH on its horse over here and looking to do some damage. Is this still negative on the day? Let me just see. SRXH is artificial intelligence, platform-driven, high-conviction operating companies. Okay, they're just, you know what we're talking about. $26 million market cap. It's up 37%. It was halted, news pending. So I'm not really sure exactly what the issue is. We can check into it in a minute, but it's up 37% and it trades on the Amex. The volume is a little bit light, you know, for a $2 name, 15.6 million shares, but not bad. So we're definitely going to keep this one on watch. It's just a matter of who we're going to take off. Likely Laser, because I'm not going to trade Laser. So we'll put in SRXH over here on the side chart, and we'll keep a close eye out on that. Now, the deal is with RAP, I'm running out of patience here, and it's coming into my area. So I still am holding shares, so I got to make sure I don't go negatory on this one. So here's the deal. We're going to throw in the stop. One sec, computer. Let's go. Yeah, we're still holding on this one. Yeah, okay. So we're going to throw in that stop there. We'll see what comes of it. How's my trade doing here on JLHL? Joey, there seems to be a seller right around the $0.25, 26, 27. We can't really shake the seller there because prior bar high is 28, current bar high is 26. So there's somebody selling up here, and now it's pushing the price action a little bit back down. So I was pretty ambitious here, thinking, all right, let me throw in my profit taker at 33 rather than 25. You know, the way I trade, typically I'm waiting to beak at the $0.25. I didn't do that this time. So we'll see exactly what's happening there. Headline, mediator countries working to bring Iran and the U.S. back to negotiation table. CNN citing sources. I wonder if Pakistan's involved in that. They've had their hand a lot in these negotiations as of late. President Sharif or Prime Minister Sharif, I don't even know what they have over there, but that's a look there, Joey. What are you looking at?
All right, man. Yeah, I mean, we've already had 2 coffees today. We got to chill on those, man. We got to hit the gym after, and we don't want to be all bleeped up. You know what I mean?
All right, let me just tell this individual in the chat. Ticker RSIM. SRXH is a circuit breaker. No, brother, it is a circuit breaker now, but I want to point to your attention. Here it is. At 11:55, SRX Global halted due to news pending. Okay, so it was halted at around, I believe, $1.78 news pending, and then once it opened up from that news pending halt, it gapped up into a volatility halt. Just want to clarify that, Joey.
All right, Brandon, not good stuff, brother. All right, so there's a good short signal Gore here on AMD. You can see the correlation between this inverted hammer candle, almost a triple top at this level, and an outstanding volume print, relatively higher to what we've been seeing here, guys. I believe that this is going to be a key level that we're going to keep an eye out on, this 552 marker. And then if it breaches and breaks it, then you might head towards the volume-weighted average price. Now, from a daily, this thing's not too far off of its all-time high. Been absolutely on a performance tear. Even though we've been consolidating up in this range, this is where the real money was made, and it didn't take long, man. A trader's dream or an investor's dream, when you just go up and steady to the right for quite some time, a couple of months, that was AMD to a T. But believe me when I say it, Sharif, I believe at some point it's going to be this name's time, and hopefully within the next year. Same thing with Meta, right? Like here, this is why Sean and I were having the conversation. It's like, what would you rather have, Broadcom at these levels or Alibaba? Now, obviously, to each their own. Alibaba putting up some numbers right now. Oh, and that's why Keenan likes it. Yeah, it's up again today. Well, Broadcom, it did gap up in the morning, but now starting to give back a little bit of its gains, which is totally fine. But here it is. Broadcom, from peak to that local low, was down 27%.
Was it bleeding its own blood?
It was, very much so. And then also Alibaba down 45%. All right. And Alibaba's starting to outpace it right now at this point from a percentage metric. But hey, man, anything can happen. These guys are spending cash as well, too. Alibaba is like the Chinese equivalent of one of our hyperscalers.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're going to have that exposure. So there's DRAM as well, too. This thing was down 35%, I believe, off of that lows, 28 to be exact. And finding a recovery as these memory names are starting to rebound here once again. But I do believe it's noise. And best believe SK Hynix, they're saying it's 7 times oversubscribed. It's going to be very interesting tomorrow. So unfortunately, I won't be able to participate in that one, but I hope everybody has the ability to take advantage of that trade. It is SKHY, I believe, is going to be the ticker. SK Hynix on the NASDAQ. Do we know a price, an issuing price right now on this, Sharif, on what's going on?
We're going to find out tonight, my man. Right?
Is that when that comes out?
Find out the range tonight.
All right. So there it is.
SKHY, right?
Yeah, SKHY. Here's Bitcoin. putting in some solid IBIT, so not a horrible look over there. And we've gone through all of the banks. Now I'm just sitting on my hands being patient.
Here we go.
Like,
got it. 149.
Oh, okay. That's not bad whatsoever. Yep. I think that's reasonable, and you'll get retail involved.
We'll cover
maybe
this
why
now
we're
when
7
you're
times. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll keep my eye on it. I wonder if IBKR, maybe I'll do a limit on open on my little thing as I'm driving.
That's crazy.
Last thing I need to do is be driving to the nation's capital trading SK Hynix. But
yeah, bro, that'll like. I'm not saying it's gonna go south or anything, but like, you want it, like,
I'm not doing
because it's either gonna be a really good trip or a really crappy trip,
good.
depending on how the trade goes.
Exactly. So maybe we'll just avoid the stock market while we're out there canoeing, enjoying nature. But there goes Meta, 614, man. A bunch of headlines favoring this one. I know we're sending it off to someone.
Let me cover this first before we go to
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So here we go. SK Hynix aiming to price its highly anticipated U.S. listing at $149, per ADR. It lands at the premium of approximately 3.1% relative to Thursday's closing price for their common shares in Seoul, where it finished at about 218,600 won, which is about $144 and a half. Okay, that was with the SEC. If finalized, the debut would mark a historic milestone for the global technology company. Record-breaking volume, $149 per ADR. The massive scale of the offering poised to make it okay. Toppling giants, a successful launch at this valuation would surpass Alibaba's legacy $25 billion debut. AI tailwind, okay, we already know HBM. Yeah, not much more that this article has from the Street Insider other than that.
Yeah,
so
let me before we send it to Sia, I'll give my 2 cents. Not like it matters or anything along those lines.
Open.
But I believe so say if I was an individual in South Korea who's just been on this absolute roller coaster of a ride in Samsung and SK Hynix, I don't want this.
You don't want it?
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. It's that simple. Anyways, all right, let's send it over to Sia.
Can you say why?
Yeah, because it's diluting the shares, right? And then now you have some more opinions. Oh, and congratulations, you have the American markets now who get to play around with this stuff. And again, Obi stands on this this is what I believe where the edge lies in Blue Ocean. Less participants. Right, that's what you want. Too many opinions makes things go absolutely bonkers, right? And I think that's what's gonna happen here with SK Hynix. And we know that they're over leveraged over there, so watch out for the Kospi as well too, because now the American influence is going to be in the South Korean market via SK Hynix. Let's send it off to Sia.
The IWM is currently up, holding the same momentum from a couple minutes ago, up 1.19%. Let's take a look at 2 individual tickers I have picked for you today. So WRAP, that's WRAP, up 54% on the day, launched an autonomous defense and public safety platform, WRAP Shield, that is designed to help government agencies in early detection of threats, improve decision-making, also considering appropriate responses. So second one, we have FBRX, that's Forte Biosciences, up 49.3% on the day. Forte Biosciences has reported a positive phase 1B vitiligo results showing FB102 achieved 29.6%. That means FIVASI. That means basically facial vitiligo area scoring index, which is a specialized clinical assessment for dermatology that's used in medical dermatology. So the ticker FBRX up 49.3% with WRAP up 54%, and that's a wrap on small cap.
All right, guys, Trax NYC just broke out. Love in. I'm in SRXH. We've wet the beak all the way up to 33. Sorry, 33. Calm down, sure. 3. We have 281s on. I've got a couple of beak wetters left. It feels top heavy. It feels like that seller at 3 above. And when I watched this one get to 3, there was a very aggressive seller because there was a lot of volume coming in at $3 and it didn't even bump into 301. So I'm talking about this latest move down below 3 in an attempt to retake 3 again. Now we're out of the money by a penny, but I don't have much left, and I'm looking for a big break above 3. This one gets back and holds above 3. We're going to add to the position, okay? But guys, Trax NYC is moving. Here we go. It's getting close to the high of the day. It's not NYC. I'm kidding, of course. If you watch social media, you know what I'm talking about. 30-20 high showing 29.87. What a hold off the volume weighted average price. I had this one. I didn't take it. It's on me. I suck. But hey, we can't get too upset about that. But TRAX coming into 30, 29.87. Let's see how it trades with the whole dollar. SRXH, man, it feels like it's going to drop here. I don't know how to feel about this one. Tisha, are you looking at this one? She's like, lots of red volume on SRXH. Yeah, I see that, Tish. And now we're down into 3/4. There's a big buyer here at 75. This is going to break. Just watching the volume here, either adding or getting removed from 75. It's a little bit of both. It's going to break here. Let me just see. But there's more volume coming in at 3/4. Look at this. Yeah, they're adding to the size, and there it goes right back up. Didn't flatten out, right? Because the tape didn't, or the book didn't give me the indication that I need to flat out. Into 85 is they're buying here. They're selling at 85. Very aggressive selling. Very similar to this what I saw at 3. Let's see if they stair step down now. So the selling was at 85. Where's the selling going to come in now? Is it 83? So the algo moves down their sell order to push the price action down. Right? Now, the question is there a big enough buyer to be able to take that out? 75 again. There's that 75 buyer again stepping in, and they're adding more. Look at that. Right there into 72, I'm out. That's it. So we'll give back a little bit of that one. That 75 buyer got decimated. So we'll see how that next cookie crumbles. Still positive on it. Happy about that. But could have done a little bit better if we had that 3 break. How we doing over here? Oh, no, Joey. We got pushed out of JLHL. I moved up my stop too aggressively there. Oh, sucks. Oh, now it's right back up into the third of a dollar. Let's see if we can get back into this one. JLHL doesn't look bad, guys. If this one can take out the $0.50, I think we can probably see 75 again. It's just really a matter of whether we can do that or not. So going to keep a close eye on
Yeah,
this.
Vinya. Yeah, absolutely, Vinya. I'm looking at that right now. We're starting to head into levels that we want, all right? So if we see any form of indecision print, we're ready to rock and roll. Mara's on our mind right now, and it's up substantially here this morning. This has been a good roller coaster for us. We're up 4.4%, and we were fortunate enough to catch the bottoms. Ben Affleck's not going to be here on a day like this because, unfortunately, if you went inverse the kid, you'd be having a horrible day and you'd be short off of those lows and you'd now be down 5%. So, yeah, bad idea. Joey, most important question of the day, France or Morocco? I got Francais. 2 paper cuts, small size, and bigger confirmation, bigger size. Looks really good now. Yeah, SpaceX doesn't look bad, brother. DRAM's starting to pull back in a little bit here as well, too. But what we want to focus on is MARA. All right, so Mara is my number 1, 2 Mara for a continuation to the long side. But the deeper the pullback gets, the less we like it, right? I do believe we can have some form of continuation. I may as well pull it up here for us back home and see what we got going on. And how much from an exact? All right, guys. Anyways, 12.25 to the top side here, guys. Any form of continuation. And listen, I'm not expecting a break of the previous high of the day. What we will look for is maybe even a lower high to be established, right? So if the turnaround signals start to display themselves, we slowly position. Yeah, great question. What do I mean by an indecision print? Perfect. This is where price action really matters and comes into play. So an indecision print, let's find a better example, all right? It's going to be this. Let's go over to the NASDAQ. So this is what I mean by an indecision print, all right? So here, we'll go through these candles. You see how bearish they're closing? It's very decisive. They're very bearish. But what we have here, so candle number 1 opens and closes with very little wick. Candle number 2, 5 right here, opens and closes with very little wick. This one opens and closes with very little wick as well, so very decisive. But what we have here is a candle that opened up at this level and pushed all the way down to 715, which would indicate the fact that sellers were in control. But what happened, the candle actually closed bullish, forming a hammer candle at an extreme low. So I would classify this as an indecision print. Even though it is closing green, it was pushed all the way red to the low of 715, but then eventually closed up here. And this is a VPA signal that Gaurav and I absolutely love. You have the 3rd largest volume print, you have a hammer candle close complete and is bullish at the lows, an indecision print, right? There's multiple. A doji up here can be indecisive. This can be classified as indecisive. But what we have here is a multiple stars aligning with our volume price analysis methodology is that here at 710, we go off to the races and we continue to move a little bit higher. So going along off of that indecision print. And if you follow VPA signals, that's exactly what you want to see. And that's what I'm looking for here in Marathon Digital, okay? So the lower we go, the less we like it because we're looking for around a 40% pullback or so. If it gets any deeper, then maybe sellers would have a little bit more control than what we're actually anticipating, and we may not get that follow through. Now, it's also important to correlate that with your daily. Where are we? Are we in a breakout zone? Are we in the middle of nowhere? Which I believe is the case, right? We're not at the top end of this range. We are finding a rebound off a key support level, but what we're doing right now is engulfing multiple days of just chop and indecision. All right. So there's that on MARA. I'm going to stick to it because I think I'd rather put myself where there's signs of strength. And then maybe we also have less participants on this one as well, too. So what we're starting to see formulate is some indecision prints right here. You can see that's one. But just due to the fact that the momentum was so strong, we want to wait for things to cool down before they start to turn around. All right. I don't expect that immediate V-shaped reversal to the point where we sell off and then boom, bounce immediate like we were fortunate enough to participate in the TQQQs. With this name, it could cause a little bit more issues. But Gaurav, check this out. As I'm looking across my board here, SpaceX putting in a hammer candle right there at this 149. But it's pretty choppy as well, too. I want something that's more directional, you know what I mean? Make our lives a little bit easier. And if I'm wrong, then hey, at least I put myself in the right place at the right time, right? Where do you stand on Meta long term? I'm long Meta. That's as polite as I can say it. Brother, that was awesome. I actually understand what you're saying there. Instant print is different from trend consolidation, though. Absolutely, Gabzor. Two totally different things. And thank you, ICUP. I try, man. That's what we're here for, is for you guys to ask questions, and hopefully I can put it in layman's terms for you.
Man, there you go. All right, guys. I think I'm going to get into open door over here for the first time. I'm going to give it to local area low. Let's give this one the old college try. There we go. We got a nice little bump up. Area low for me. Yeah, I'm going to give it to the area low, 522. Okay, that's good. We'll go 515. Right? No, 522, 515. And for how many shares? Okay, cool. All right, looking for that. TDTH is coming back as well, guys. Oh, and here we go. And now I got a breakout trade here. Probably a little bit too aggressive on SRXH. Oh, I got weaseled into that, didn't I? Let's see. I got 88. How did I get 90? Wow, that's a lot of slippage. Back into 87, looking for a big move up here into 3. What I did was I just set up my breakout trade for the breach of prior bar high, because this one did hold area support. So what I do is I put my stop below area low, which is 260. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to risk a little here, right? So we'll have to see how this cookie crumbles, because I'm not liking the look of this one's jib right now, but it is what it is. Open door, let's set up some profit takers on this one. And let's set up at 35s as well. I also want to mention that Trax NYC is continuing to go into the area high there. That's something to look out for. JLHL did lose trend, but it seems to want to reclaim it here. So bottoming tail candle through 6, but we're still putting in a downtrend locally. Look for the 6.5 break and take on JLHL. I think that's probably the only basis upon which I get back into that trade. So we'll have to wait and see if that ends up manifesting. Watching SRXH, looking for a big move above 3. Bovin, what is this one doing? Let's see at least an attempt here at $3. We've got nice higher lows, higher highs on the current candle, but there's no follow through, Randy, sadly. So we'll have to wait on that one. And we wait on this. We're going to send you to Sia, the Sector Watch.
The SPY's green inching closer to 8%. Let's take a look at our sectors and what's going on with them today. We have electric tech. Nvidia is down very close to 1%. Apple up 0.57%. We have AVGO, AMD, INTC, Cisco, MU all rallying. Good look on electric tech today. Nvidia, not so much. Hopefully it catches up with the other names later in the day. Tech services, we have Google down 2%. Microsoft down very close to 1%. And Meta up on the day, 1.9%. We heard that Meta has announced MuseSpark 1.1. So that's a news that we're also going to discuss in depth during the news segment. So stay here and don't go anywhere. We have Oracle up 3.5%, Netflix and Palantir with IBM sliding towards the downside. In finance, we have BRKP up 0.5%, JPM up 1.6%, whereas Visa, MasterCard are trading flat on the day currently. We have BAC up 1.7%, MS up 2.5%, and Goldman Sachs, GS, up 3.5%. They have said today that it has won deals to manage a combined $70 billion in retirement assets for Verizon and Lockheed Martin. So stock is up 3.25%, Robinhood up 2.8%. Retail trade, we have Amazon and Walmart, followed by Costco, all sliding to the downside with Costco lagging down there, down 4.2%, with Home Depot up 1% and TJX trading flat. Producer manufacturing sector looking pretty good and pretty strong today. AMAT, LRCX up 6.3 and 6.4% respectively. We have CAT up 1% on the dot and GEV up 0.86%. Consumer non-durables, you have a bit of a bearish sentiment. KO, PG, PM, PEP all down on the day. We have health tech also lagging a bit behind with the big names Lilly and J&J down 1% respectively, 1.13 and 1.19%. ABBV and MRK also down on the day. Only TMO and PFE. PFE up 0.85% on the day. We have energy minerals also sliding. We have a couple comments also that we had today, that we had yesterday, and some oil news also that we will discuss later in the news segment. But energy is dragging down today. XOM down 2%, CVX down 0.94, very close to 1%. Consumer services, utilities, process industries, and industrial sectors all these four sectors are a bit of a mixed sentiment throughout. We have non-energy majorly in the green with FCX up on the day 5.3%, and transportation also. That probably could be one of the strongest sectors for today. All the tickers in the green with Uber up 0.6%, UPS up 2.7%, FedEx up 3.2%, and JBHT up 3.19%. And that's all for your sector watch.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. Great information. And Walmart and Target, guys, I was reading, I just mentioned this. We may or may not get into it in the news segment, but I was reading an article this morning about the upcoming weakness expected in the back to school season and the shopping for back to school. They're actually expecting, analysts that is, about a 6% reduction in back to school spending this year compared to last. The reason I mentioned it, of course, because Sia was going through the list there. She mentioned Walmart, Target. That jogged my memory, so keep an eye out onto her. Brother Shane, even if it's not for me, brother, it's not something that is nice to hear about somebody that you're working with. So even if it's not about me, that's not what I'm talking about. Just don't be like that, okay? Thank you for that.
Don't be that guy, man.
Don't be like that, okay? All right, guys, this is not going the way that I want it here for SRXH. If it loses 60, I'm out. That would be the loss of prior bar low, and there it is. We are stopped out of that one, so that will be a little bit of a negative on that one. So that's all right. We're still holding here open door. We just got the print, and we're looking for a bigger move up into that $5.50 level. So that's what I'm going to keep an eye out on there. And then RAP. Joey, I remember you were liking RAP as well. Now it's making another move, and so is JLHL. If JLHL takes out the $0.50, your boy is going long.
Hella long?
What? Hella long is a statement.
Is it?
It is. There it goes, Mr. Options. They're through the $0.50. There it is. The breakout is on right now, guys. Here we go. We got 73. There's 80. We'll let the big takeover, Joey. 683 limit up. 683 limit up. Watch out for the limit up coming in.
Okay.
683 limit up. I'm going to put 88. It could change, of course, right? because we know how this one works. There it goes, Mr. Options into the 90. I sniffed this one coming away, way back. All right, loving this trade here, very happy. And boom, to the high side. What do you got?
Adam, I say that at least once a day, bro. So
What?
You'll see what Adam James said.
Adam James freaking abroad?
Yeah. Who else would it be? Even though he really frustrated me last week. But that's all right, man.
What do you say, Joe?
It's not about hey,
when I wasn't here.
When you weren't. No, I was over there. Yeah.
He was over there.
He's lucky.
Was he talking about data centers?
No, it was personal. He made it personal, and you know me. I am kind, so I let things slide when I want to.
What are we gonna do with this guy, guys? I love this guy.
Why does anything have to be done?
I don't know, man. I am kind. What are you, Xerxes, bro?
You know who I am, man? Xerxes, man.
Joey, we're at $7. Go JLHL, go. Bovin, is this gonna break 7 or what is going on here, man? There's a lot of selling, Joey, at $7. Big boy selling.
Oh man, why didn't you tell me about this one earlier?
I don't know. I just yelled about it 20 times.
It's all good, man. I got a lot going on here right now too. But JLHL is looking pretty good for that high of the day break. Maybe we get involved in this bad boy. I'm involved with some Marathon Digital for somewhat of a bounce. Listen, this is tight risk. Like, we can be in and out of this trade relatively quick, all right? So I know Street's got some Momo cooking up over there, but what we have right now is a nice indecision trade. And this is what we're talking about, putting our money where our mouth is. When I see something like this and then a little indecision, then I have to take the trade. It may not be doing exactly what I want right now, but we'll give it a little bit of time. Extremely tight stop. I'm talking about 4 or 5 cents on this. If we don't get that elastic effect back and towards VWAP, then it's AC Slater to this one, and we're going to find something else to not trade, but we'll just wait. We're going to give it our at-bats because I have that much confidence. You're not up 12% for no reason, and then buyers just take their foot completely off the gas. All right, so let's see if we can get this this one rocking and a rolling here. I know you got that JLA, whatever it is, going on. Too many...
I know, right? The world of small cap gappers, bro.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much. It's too much.
I do like that break of that. The volume stepped in, multiple things aligning and stars aligning on this bad boy. $7 break. Maybe we get involved in it.
I just wanted to when the stars align. What was that song with Drake and Majid Jordan? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I like that song, man.
When the stars align, something. Yeah. What's it called, Sia? Waiting?
Yeah. I'll play it.
It is stars align, right? Yeah.
Toronto.
I love Majid Jordan, by the way. They're sick Toronto group, by the way.
They did a pop-up thing.
Majid Jordan?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were at Dundas Fest.
No way.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They did that, man.
I love that Toronto duo,
Me
man.
too. Do you know how they got, like,
you can't beat Toronto R&B.
Covered so in such a weird way.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
sorry,
they
say it
started
again?
making music in their dorms apparently.
No way.
Yeah.
But they seem to collaborate with Drake a lot. I feel like
they're signed by Drake.
It's called Stars Align.
They're signed by Drake.
They're so okay. That makes sense.
OVO,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. If they're under the OVO label. I know. Sorry, Gabzor, man. You don't even know what I have right here for you guys. Who remembers this? Oh, hold on. Give me a second.
Bro, stop. We're going to get dinged, man.
We have 5 seconds, Assassino.
I told you, man. Say you playing with fire.
Man, I've been listening to the
G-Unit. Which one was that again?
G-Unit album,
I know,
man. I've been loving this. That is an earworm for me. I just broke my screen. Fantastic.
Did you actually?
No, screen protector. Yeah, Smile on the G-Unit album. Yeah.
That one's a banger. See, I got a road trip tomorrow, man. We're gonna be banging that stuff.
Oh man, God, that was a good one. Guys, we just got a big boy drop on JLHL. We're break even on this one right now. Looking for the hold above the 70 penny level. I've already moved up my stop. Let's see what this one does. Can it work back into $7? The answer currently is no, so we're gonna keep a close eye out on that. There seems to be an 83 or 82 seller. We've got 73s on. I still have a couple of beak wetters on this one. We were looking for that 7 1/3. That didn't come in. I think I'm going to move up my stop. I think I already have it at 669, but we're going to go ahead and throw that on just in case we don't have, because it won't trigger, because it'll technically try to short, and then if I don't have locates on it, it won't short, right? So I can't put 2 stops there. All right, so that's what we're looking for now. That is JLHL. How's my trade on open doing? Well, it's stair-stepping up, Assassino. Not the greatest, but we're going to keep a close eye on that. And while we're going to have to wait for this one to break out, we're going to send you to Adara with news.
Keep an eye here on oil, guys. Not too much of a move as of yet, but comments coming from Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel saying, quote, "The war is not over. Israel is prepared for any scenario." He also said that along existing challenges, new ones are emerging. So sounds like, we had President Trump yesterday say the ceasefire was over. Sounds like conflict could be continuing to start back up here in the Middle East. Back to you.
Well, there it is. Keep your eye on USO, guys. It's down 2 3/4, but that could change in a second. So USO in focus there. You'll know exactly how the market feels at any one moment by just keeping your eye on that bad. And of course, you'll see it on the Qs as well, and the SPY. Everything will start dropping. Here it is, Bovin, moving back into 7 on JLHL. Tisha, I know you're all over this one. What's your thesis here? You think we double top? I'm about to get stopped out here if it loses 70 pennies because my trigger's at 69. The spread is opening up wide as well, 15 pennies. What is going on, man? We're doing almost 41 million shares here. Why is the spread so wide? Tightening up here back into 3 pennies, but it just opened up ridiculous there. But I'm not sure what to make of this one. Cough, cough, Joby, cough. Brother, I don't even want to look at Joby, okay? I was just talking to Joey before we got on the show. Yeah, I just got to the high day at 813. I am substantially out of the money on Joby, okay? And I'm not happy about it. So I'm just going to let that one go and not look at it. But I do see 813 high price spike up. Not seeing anything really to account for that. It looks like it was a flat top break through 805, give or take. But shout out to my man, Commodity King. Tisha, I'm looking for a pullback and a push higher. All right, love it, Tish. Prior bar low for anybody interested on JLHL is 667. Right now, we're showing 81s, high at day 719. We're obviously having trouble with 7, never having closed, in fact, above 7. But we have wicked above there several times. So we are able to take out the sellers at around $7. The problem is we don't have enough buyers to sustain the price action right around there, Joe. So that's my problem.
I told you guys here we're going to have very low patience on this marathon digital trade just in case there is no bottom. And what I'm looking at here on the higher time frame is that we're not ready to find a rebound just yet. Once again, 38s, we print that. We're out of dodge on this bad boy. And that's okay. If it decides that it wants to turn around at another point, I told you we're going to take our 3 swings at it. This is going to be my lightest of size. So we'll start relatively small on this one. Been a good morning so far, but we don't want to give too much back leading into our little mini vacay and road trip that is. So let's see, man. Engulfing print right there. Yeah, that's what. Well, not the road beers.
Exactly.
Not the road beers there, Sharif. You don't want you don't want to get involved with the road beers.
Not allowed to do that.
I know, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's like technically we're not allowed to do
to talk about road beers.
No, not talk. Actually have road beers, especially if you're driving. It might not be.
You know it's funny. So there's this like little video of going around of like back in the 80s when they officially like declared you're not allowed to drink and drive and stuff, and how outraged people were like, you can't even leave work and have a drink. Yeah, that guy.
I see that video. You remember that?
That guy. Yeah, that guy. Came after a hard day at work. Can't have a beer.
But it's so foreign to us, though, right?
Yeah,
it's foreign to us. It wasn't foreign to them.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So. The same thing with the safety belt test. People were infuriated. They're like, I can
understand brothers' argument.
There it goes, man.
There is some states that still allow you to do so. All right, guys, there it is.
JLHL.
38. We're printing 38s there on Marathon Digital. AC Slater, that one as it rebounds actually right after. We'll be a little bit more patient before we find any form of a turnaround on this one.
There goes JLHL into another high of day. Very pleased that I held on to this one. 730 high. We just went the beak there at 25, so we didn't quite get the high of the day. But now I want to see a $7 hold. We have not had a $7 hold all day on this, and it feels like here comes 7 again. From 730 down into 7 single digits, 09s, 07 showing up here. Look, I'm going to keep repeating myself because it literally is what needs to happen. We have to hold the whole dollar here. Otherwise, it's just going to be a zig and zag of shorts getting involved right around the whole dollar and pushing it right back down. 19 showing up again, looking for a breach of 30. I've got no profit takers right now on this one because I don't know how this cookie crumbles. So let's see exactly what we get, too. Now, JLHL, it's already shown itself to be the number one gapper, far and away, up 133%. And I'm not saying today's the type of day where I think JLHL can get into $10, but if this starts halting to no end to the high side, well, then we know exactly what's going to happen with that. Now, as I watch JLHL continue to hold 7, I am now watching OPEN drop below 30 again. This isn't the trade for me here on Open, flattening out break even on the rest, focusing on others. Let's send it up to Sia with news.
It's okay. No worries, Sharif. So let's take a look. A source familiar with this upcoming matter has confirmed and said today that Japan's government is planning to add an explicit reference to Bank of Japan independence in its economic blueprint after there have been some concerns over political interference in monetary policy that have helped push bond yields to multi-decade highs. USD JPY, the pair, trading around the $162 region right now, currently down 0.16% on the day. Let's also take a look at the euro and what's going on here right now. So we have ECB policymakers that had gathered last month that had been presented with projections showing inflation staying above target into next year, despite nearly 3 ECB interest rate hikes. And these are all the accounts that have been disclosed from the meeting that have been shown as of today. So that's that. Also, we have the pound. Also, let's take a look at that as well. The pound currently has risen. The dollar has backed off as yesterday's highs, in line with the modest retreat that's been going on in these oil prices as well, which has left the pound being around its highest it's been since 4 weeks, currently up 0.18% on the day. Let's finally just see what the dollar is doing right now. Trading around the 100 region, it's down 0.2% on the day. Sending it back.
All right, Ozan, have a good time, brother. Just don't eat any Cajun food there, Ozan. Shout out to you, my man. Thanks again for lunch, brother. You're all class. There goes JLHL back into 730. It's a 735 high. We're going to continue to hold here, guys. And in fact, I'm looking for an ad. It's just about where now we've closed above 7, and there it goes again into another area high, not by much, by a penny, into 736, but it did take out momentarily the 35 seller. I'm looking for an ad here. Now that we have closed above 7, it's just a matter of getting a nice price spike down if we get it at all, right? And so let's see here, $0.25, fifth of a dollar, teens showing up. Is there a buyer stepping in? 13, 7 adding, looking for a hold of 7. See, big buyer at 7, but it does feel like it will give way. Let's set up a profit taker here, and then let's set up something also at the $0.25. So we've got 98s on now. That changes my cost basis. Fundamentally, it loses 7, so we will give back a little bit on that. That's okay. We added into the 7. I had to, right? That was the right thing to do. We had closed above 7, but this shows you that the short sellers are convicted in their cause right here at $7. So even though we do get a candle that closes above it, there was no continuity at all. So sucks, but we'll very positive on it. This is my number 1 winner on the day. So very happy about that. Looking for a little bit more though. We failed 7, Joey, piece of crap. But that's what makes a pop the little volume. Bovin was telling me about NWTG, which rocketed up about 13%, but he was saying, that's why it rockets up like that, because the volume is so little, so there's so little standing in the way of the longs. And more accurate, it couldn't be Bovin, but I have to manage risk a little bit different. Sharif, G-Unit, shout out to Guzman Customs, shout out to my man. I don't know, man. I don't know what made me want to listen to the G-Unit album, but it just popped into my mind, and then Smile came on. I was like, oh my God, shades of the days of clubbing and stuff like that.
Yeah, those
you don't know anything about money, do you?
Do I know
the
any?
Club, not actual money. That would be so rude of me.
I'd be like, hey man,
this is what we're doing all day. Yeah. You never heard of the club called Money?
No.
Adam, do you remember Money? If you're in the chat, Adam, I'd love to hear if you remember the club Money, man, because those were the nights.
Bro, for me, it was like TIL.
TIL was good.
Yeah, TIL was sick.
Good.
And like Oso response that
one I don't know.
Man. Oso, some good stuff. All right, guys, we're posted up at this level. Listen, we got the indecision print that we're looking for here on the 5-minute time frame. Now it's just a matter if this is going to work. So what I've done is I actually doubled my amount here, a little bit more than that, about 70% of my size. We're posted up at 41s. What we need is the bid to hit that in order for us to catch a fill and be a priority. Now we're printing 43s, which isn't great. I don't want it to go buck wild there without me. which I'm starting to get a little bit of a hunch that it might, but that's okay. We're not going to chase anything. We want the price that we've posted up at, and we're not going to pay anything more, just due to the fact of my very low tolerance here with Marathon Digital. It does tend to give back the majority of its moves at times, and it's a very, very choppy stock, but I just believe it's in play here today, and we're going to stick with that. Oh, printing 45s now?
It's curling up nicely here, man. There's a lot of bottoming tail candles here, Joey.
On Marathon?
Yeah.
I know, that's why I'm trying to, that's why I'm trying to get in on those lows,
man.
Oh, but see, the thing is, now it's printing 45s. We took
Can I
the
say
one
something,
attempt.
though? Why don't you just give it the area low? Look at that bottoming tail candle there. The low of which is 13.37. That's about less than 10 cents worth of risk on that.
Yeah, but I'm trying to, like, I'm
You're
loading up
big
both.
size,
Yeah.
big
So
size,
I
so you
want
can't let
so
that,
I want a precise end. Oh, yeah. See, what criminal activity, man.
No, it's curling.
Crazy.
It's curling, man. You can kinda
Prince
see it.
48 wicks me out
Criminal
here.
activity.
Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm posted up here, and then that's when it makes that strong uptick. We wanted 41s, then decides that it wants to print 50. Yeah, that's crazy stuff right there. And I said I wasn't going to chase it. I'm not going to get in at the top end of the range. But these are the indecision prints that I was talking about not too long ago. And then now it's going. All right, so that curl over was primetime Deion Sanders. It's just unfortunate. Oh man, that stuff could get you going. That stuff could get you going for sure, because we should be hectically in the money at this point, Sharif. As we are posted up at 41s, as I said, now printing 1351s.
What does hectically in the money mean? Like, I just have questions. I'm not criticizing. I have questions. Like, does it mean you're in the money in a way that's very chaotic? Like, it could go away at any moment?
Yeah, Joe,
does it mean you're like, is it like hella? Like, I just want to know what it means. I'm asking as a real question.
We need to know.
It's hella ITM. All right.
Hella? Hella? Hella. 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 JLHL at 7 says Bovin. Yeah, brother, I don't know. I'm gonna let that one go, Bovin. I'm trying my hand here at SRXH again, Bovin, because it's straddled VWAP now on a 5-candle basis. We got 55s on. Bovin, I'm looking for a move into 75 here on SRXH. It's holding VWAP well. I'm going to give this one a try, but I do see JLHL making a big move back up 7 Joseph options. Oh my days, this one might be going.
This is crazy. Did you get in Marathon Digital?
No, I did not, man. I got distracted.
Man.
Yeah, it's going, bro. It's going to go to 1360. What I'd be looking out for is a rejection of VWAP, though.
But that's primary target there, right? Just with the amount of size right there. I mean, oh my Lanta, that's all right, man. I wasn't going to chase it up here at 44s because it's important, right? Like when you're playing with pennies, every penny, like literally every penny counts. But now it's starting to show those rebound signals that we were waiting for so long. And sure enough, all you can do is laugh sometimes. Unfortunately, we didn't catch that fill in this consolidation zone, and now it looks like it's going to be on the path. Any pullback, though, I mean, a retest of 1343, maybe that can give us a signal to engage, but we would have been rolling into targets right now at this point, Sharif, but that's not necessarily the case. Yeah.
You ever play StarCraft?
I never did, like a couple of times, yeah.
Oh, man. That ruins all my next series of questions that I had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, let's say I said I played StarCraft.
No, but you're not going to be able to relate.
Oh, okay.
So that's not going to work out. All right, let's go to Sia.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at what the crypto markets are doing right now. We have Bitcoin currently up 0.65% on the day, whereas Ethereum and Solana continuing to slide a bit to the downside. Solana's down 0.18%, whereas Ethereum down 0.27%. Let's take a look also at this little update we had with Coinbase earlier in the day. So they said that it has restored prediction markets trading on its platform after users were unable to place trades. And an earlier status message on the website had said that Coinbase was investigating this issue. Now it's completely resolved. With that, Coinbase is up 0.2% on the day.
That's fantastic there, Omahawks. My life fryer. Oh my God, Protoss. Protoss were impossible. And like their most basic person had, like, you had to decimate him because he had shields and health. So like, you know, nobody else had shields except Protoss, bro.
Star Fox, I played Johnny T.
Man, I was always playing with Terran, which are the humans, because you had nuclear weapons.
Oh.
And I'd build as many nuclear silos as I could, and I'd nuke them, right? So
You're lucky your flag's not. Your account didn't get flagged. Then,
I know, right? Yo, we could get dinged here, Joey. There goes SRXH. What I tell you, Bovin, back into 70 on this one. Bovin, look for a 3/4 rejection. That's my thinking here right now on SRXH. There it goes through 3/4. It's taking out all my orders saving except for 77. Let's go ahead and post now. We're going to post at 88. Should this one find a bit of a more of aggressive spike up. Bovin saying HTZ is moving up as well. Hertz on the move over here. Yes, it is. 218 high, Bovin. Good call on that. That's going to earn its way onto the side chart momentarily. So we took some good prints there on SRXH. We were negative on this one because of the stop out from this entry here, and then it stopped me out. So technically still negative, looking getting back in the ville of positive on this one. So keeping a close eye on SRXH. And I was telling Joey, I feel like WRAP may be ready to take out that 2.5 again. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye here on WRAP in the same way that I'm keeping a close eye here on SRXH. I'm looking at taking somebody off the side chart, FVRO. We're going to put it in HTZ. Good call out there, Bubba. I could definitely work with that into possibly 215, maybe 2 mid-single digits on Hertz. Looks like it could be a good one here, especially if it gets moving maybe into that 2.5 on HTZ. But that's all I've got at the moment. I'm looking for a little bit more here on SRXH, but it doesn't look like it's giving it to me. Come play StarCraft with us, says Jake Whittier, 9273. Send me an invite, man.
Send the invite.
I haven't played StarCraft in a while, but I still have my tactics, man. I build my bunkers initially at the entrance, fill them up with Marines, right? And then I start building, I think it's the advanced factory, so I can get my siege tanks. So I snap you guys from far, my siege tanks. So sick how those guys fire. They can actually post up as artillery, and they can actually be tanks. So you can use them as stationary targets, stationary targets or mobile targets.
You knew what I was doing.
This guy was just like, right, he doesn't care at all. No, man, StarCraft is so good. I love it, man. I could play that for hours, but I haven't played it in a while. Riley, I have two. But I haven't played it nearly as much as one, right? So I think Taylor, he has no idea. Fire bats as well are sick. Marco Hernandez. I use those for attack, less for defense, right? They're great, especially with Protoss, because Protoss has so many shields, right? So you got to be able to wear down the shields. It's kind of like using the fire bat for close range combat and then having behind the siege tanks so that they could clip Protoss, because Protoss is just so strong. Zerg team says nobody JSR. I don't know, man. I was never into Zergs.
Man, that's great.
Yeah. They're so slimy and nasty, Joe.
You know where General Zerg is from?
General Zerg.
It might be the movie Zorg. Anyways, I was going to say Toy Story, but anyways, that's what I was getting. Yeah, hey, listen, Sharif, we're getting the retest of that level. It's at the top end of this range right here. So, I mean, do we lift our bid from 1341 all the way up to 48? It's like that's a good chunk, especially for the amount of size that I want to put on right here. So I definitely have to take those things into consideration. Are you guys looking at Marathon Digital here for a rebound back and towards the volume weighted average price? I mean, an ebb and flow and a break of this trend line. Where's Neil? Neil Team 6.
He's probably out the walk right now.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully, it's not raining out there, so we can.
I think it rained already, Joey. Because but
it said later on in the day there's supposed to be some thunderstorms, so we'll have to double check.
3 o'clock.
We'll have to hit the inside gym here today, and unfortunately not be able to participate on the outside
weekend is
gym.
clear though, 25, 26.
Yeah, man.
But you're not here though.
I am not. I will not be
you want me to
here.
check Ottawa?
Well, I'll be in the nation. Yeah, I actually looked today. I checked the nation's capital here today.
Nation's capital. Look at this guy.
So I mean, shout out to, even though it's low key Toronto, but
you got plans for when you're out there?
Like, yeah, we're gonna go canoeing and stuff, and then it's just some celebrating and.
You got the canoeing during the day. You're going to outdoor activities and whatever.
Yeah,
Don't forget the beach I told you about, though, man. Even though it's the river, there's a big-ass beach there.
Is there?
Yeah, it's with sand. When I
it's with sand.
Yeah. Okay, you want me to get you the exact name?
Yeah, please. That'd be fantastic.
Sending my cousin a message immediately.
Yeah, wear sunscreen, Joe. For sure, man. Thanks for looking out.
I don't even remember the last time I wore sunscreen, bro.
I mean, I sometimes I do until I get that little bit of a tan going. I need to get this sunscreen, and because I got this going on now too, I got to put it on the head. This is new, right? So I can't put.
What's the name of that beach in Ottawa that's on the river that you and I went to that has sand?
Okay.
There you go.
I know you guys. Katie Damster, what's up, guys?
Get
So
it,
we're still posted up at this
Wraps
level.
breaking out.
The wraps breaking out.
Yeah.
SPY's at the high of the day. The Nasdaq is at the high of the day. Oh yeah, and you guessed it, Meta. High of the day. So some of these bigger names are looking pretty good. And then if you go through a lot of the memory, I'm pretty sure they're not putting in a bad session here as well too. So not completely horrible. Maybe if we can get NVDA, Katina Man's back in the building. 0.9% to the downside. Google down 1.7% and SpaceX up 1.6%.
Katina Man, do those look like IKEA meatballs?
More homemade.
What's
mine homemade, but like
what's coming out of them?
Guy, is this legit?
I haven't tried them.
Okay, well you got to tell us exactly when you do
IKEA
try,
meatballs are
Katina Man.
amazing.
We need to know.
They're
I need to know.
No, not these. IKEA.
Sorry, Jack. Are they good, Tiffany?
Thanks, Tiffany.
Tiffany, am I allowed to ask if you play tennis?
Well, you did.
No,
you did. Oh,
Tiffany,
no. What's your favorite?
Because I know you're into tennis, right? Because you were telling us about the rankings and stuff.
What's your favorite
right?
sport, Tiffany? Hey.
Favorite sport is basketball. Yeah?
Basketball.
Not much of a basketball guy myself, but you know, gotta find out who plays tennis.
Oh,
the Raptors. There we go.
Come on.
Juan plays tennis. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know. You're
He's actually pretty sick at it.
Yes.
Shout out to my man Juan.
Whatever's coming out of them. Yeah, I didn't know what that iffy fluid was. But anyways, aside from that, guys, focusing on what we got with Marathon Digital, we got some size here. But you can see here on this tertiary trend right here, guys. A lot of I mean, there it is.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? It's not a secondary. It's a trend within a trend within a trend, and that is going to be establishing lower highs here. That might give us the ability to catch our fill at this 1341 level, because there's a consolidation and a resistance zone right at that 1344, and it's holding up pretty good right now. Liquidity grab south. What we want to do is hold, because now I have more than double what I had on the initial one, looking for that strong move. But this is the move that I was looking for. I would have been happy with that and offloaded the majority of the shares as we're starting to come back in a little bit. As soon as we see 41 printed on the bid, we're engaged, all right? So we're fully into that one. So let's see what we got going on with Mara.
All right. Well, it is now 5 after 1. And
it is already?
Holy,
it is,
well,
wow.
You know, we typically know when it's like 1-ish because the Katina Man's back. How's the gym, brother? Pretty good. Fantastic. Very quiet today. Yeah? That's unusual.
It's Thursday,
it's hot
is it
out
not?
as hell, yeah.
Is it sunny out?
Nice. Okay, good. Because it's going to rain at 3, Ram. And yeah. See, it's going to
I'm not in anything
as well, so.
I told you I'm posted up here at 41s on the name. I'm not in anything just yet.
He's looking at picking it up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Tip trade. Okay. Great look there. All right, Sia, let me know if you're thumbs up, if you're ready to go. All right, let's send it over to Sia.
Ready to go always. Let's talk about Goldman Sachs as our first story, up 3% on the day. So it's said today that it has won deals to manage a combined of $70 billion in retirement assets for Verizon Communications as well as Lockheed Martin. So this is one of the larger recent announcements in the outsourced corporate investing market. And GS has said that the mandates include about $30 billion in pension assets for Verizon and Lockheed Martin, and $40 billion in Verizon defined contribution retirement assets, which are typically including 401ks. So unlike the more volatile trading and investment banking operations, GS has said that it is hoping to increase its share of revenues here, and also that are seen more as stable and recurring in GS, like I mentioned, up on the day 3%.
This to you because this is kind of your cup of tea. This is a name that you've been watching for a while.
Goldman Sachs?
You've been watching Goldman and JP, no?
Yeah, I have been. And you know what, Shreve? It's funny that you mentioned and you brought this up. So I actually watched a piece on, it doesn't matter what I watched, but on private credit.
Right.
And how there was a big issue looming around it. And it actually fell into the conversation. It led into that next thing with Jane Street. Are you familiar with Jane Street?
Of course, man.
Everybody is.
Best
right?
prop firm around, man.
So,
super secretive.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
so there was all this negative stigma falling around, this negative stigma of falling behind the private credit scene.
Yes,
but
sir.
apparently it's not as bad as what people are making it out to be. Now, the market is apparently going to grow at almost a 10-fold pace. Why? Because the banks just move too slow at times. right? The main national banks. So what I'm getting at here with Goldman Sachs in this specific story is, I mean, it's positive for them, right?
Okay.
So this was a space that was hindered by the fear of the private credit sector. You had the Blue Owls of the world,
Blackstone.
exactly,
Yep.
Blackstone getting involved with this stuff. But what we do have here is an acceleration within the growth of private credit. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not overly worried about it. The individuals who need to be worried about it, in my opinion, are Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley.
Okay.
So that's where I stand on that bit. Other than that, listen.
I don't have too much to say.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say on it either. But I mean, they're just raising more cash. These private credit companies are just raising more and more cash because they have the ability to issue more of a loan than what some of the banks have the ability.
There's issues with private credit as well. As
big time. There's big time issues with private credit, but it's apparently not as bad as what people are making it out to be, and it's going to continue to grow at a substantial rate.
All right, man. Nick Dubb, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Nick, for the kindness there. Sharif, best of luck today. Mind giving me your thoughts on Beam on 30-minute, liking the ascending move up with a take profit at 40 thoughts. Great way you put it, Nick. I mean, that's just as good as it gets there. You gave me all the information I need. BEAM is the ticker on the 30. This guy, he's quality. Look at that, man. He makes my job so easy. Liking the ascending move with a take profit at 40. All right, definitely ascending. No question about it. But there's a stair step to this, right? You can kind of see that area over here, resistance, area support. I'm talking about 33 to 33.5, so that's the first stair step up. And then we're looking at another resistance level, Nick, 37. A lot of interaction here with 37 as resistance. Now, mind you, you do get above it at times. I'm talking specifically on the 7th of July. But there you go. We're right back below it, 36.5. So to me, 37, important level of resistance. Let me just zoom out here a little bit, Nick. I know you want it on the 30, but I got to see it on the hourly. Not good enough. I need to see it on the 4-hour. Take profits at 40. Why are you telling me take profits at 40, Nick? Are you just because it's the whole dollar, like the $10 level? Because I'm not seeing a whole lot of interactions with 40, Nick, and I haven't, in fact, for a long time. It hasn't been above 40 since February, late February of 24. So we're 2.5 years now removed from that $40 price target. But we do have this day here, that outlying day on the 23rd of June, where we got to 39.24. So I got to agree with you. You know, I'd be looking at wetting the beak certainly at $40 if we can make it up there. You've got a lot of support. This is the daily, Nick, by the way. A lot of higher lows. You basically have an upward channel. If I can kind of draw a similar parallel line there, you got an upward channel. I wouldn't say it's an ascending wedge pattern. I'd say it's an upward channel, but coming into a prior area of resistance. The first thing I'd be looking for, though, Nick, is a decided close of multiple days above 37. Now, you did get the 7th close above 37. Yesterday was a tough day for the market, but this one got bought up late and got bought up above 37. Today, I'd be looking for a close above 37 as well, right? Because we know that level is a tough one. And then if you get and stay above 37, I like your level of 40. I hope you print up multiple storms. Texas Jet fan, my man, David, Joe, Sharif. I'll be on vacation next week. I will be tuning in from the lines at Disney World, man. This guy's all class, bro.
Man. Yeah,
He's got 3 kids, and he does a lot for the man.
Well, clearly he's going to Disneyland.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Good for him. All right, let's send back to Sia with the next segment.
Oh.
No?
Oh, no.
Okay,
We can now, but we can most definitely. But I'm involved here with Marathon.
Go ahead, Joey.
It was a strong downtick, man. This is not looking too great as the market is putting in new highs of the day. And SPY, the Qs, and NVDA starting to rip to 203. Let's see if we can get a turnaround here in Marathon Digital. That was a strong downtick, guys, and that's not what we want to see. If it cracks the LOD, we're out of dodge.
Bro, if it takes prior bar or area low, I'd get out, Joey.
Well, that's right. Yeah, as soon as it breaks out, that momentum tick to the downside is not what I wanted to see on it. So yeah, we'll get out of it when we have to.
All right, sounds good. SRXH continuing to hold this one, but I want to work back into wrap over here. WRAP seems to have some higher lows with an ascending wedge pattern. Let's give this one the old community college try. But it is finding a lot of resistance at 50. Excuse me. Every time it moseys on up to $2.50, it's met with a lot of resistance. In fact, Guys, there's only one candle this entire day on the 5-minute chart where RAP
Holy
actually
cow.
closed
This is
above 250. I felt it was
What
about,
hot
it was about to
garbage,
break down,
man.
but you know, it is what it is, Joey.
back a big good chunk. So yeah, that's it for me. No, see MOT. I knew, yeah, exactly. I knew that that wasn't a double. Just from a 5-minute time frame, it's probably just a liquidity grab. But I'm not going to mess around with Marathon Digital to the long side anymore. We gave back a third of our day, and that'll be it for me leading into the into my personal long weekend. Are we going back over to Sia?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, me neither. All right, so we'll just continue to ramble on here.
We're good to go. We're good to go. Fantastic. What happened,
we were
Remy?
just testing some technical stuff over there. We're going to take a look at Meta next. Meta's up 1.5%, just short of 1.5% right now. So as we do know it, we've heard earlier this morning, Alexander Wang, that's the chief AI officer at Meta, has said that Meta has announced its Muse Spark 1.1, which represents its strongest, quote unquote, strongest model for agentic and coding work yet. So the initial MuseSpark model that had been unveiled back in April had only been made available to select partners who could then access the technology via a private API view. So now Meta is making the new model's API available through a developer portal as part of a much public review, where users will be able to sign up and see instructions for this integration. And a Meta spokesperson has said that some early partners are already able to access this API, but new users will be able to add themselves to the waitlist and will be added there over a period of time. So for now, Meta has said that limiting this API access on its own properties rather than making it available on a third-party platforms like the more popular Open Router Marketplace. Meta up 1.5%.
That's a great headline for them, and I wish them the best, of course, on their next LLM, because so far hasn't been so good. Thank you for that headline, Sia. I'll take a bit of a different angle on a Meta headline, as there were many today. I'm going to talk, of course, about the great province of Alberta, the energy-rich province of Alberta. Of course, that is Canada's energy-rich province. They're getting Meta data center to the tune of $9 billion US, about 13 billion Canadian dollars. Meta already has 33 data centers globally. This will be number 34 from my understanding. Initially, it's going to be a 1 gigawatt data center with ambitions and plans to build it out to 1.8 gigawatts. And they're also bringing in, I know you like this term, Katina, man, BYOP, bring your own power. They are going to be doing that by using they're using Green Light Electric Center, which is a newly minted company by Pembina Pipeline. Now, these two companies over here, they're going to be using gas turbines to power this data center, much like Elon Musk uses for X. And it will be financed, I think, over here. Take 2 to 3 years. They're actually building it a lot quicker than they typically would be. 3 to 7 years is usually how long this one takes to build out, this kind of scale. But they're using previous warehouses, so they'll be able to cut that down, I think, to 2 or 3 years rather than 3 to 7. And it's going to have, liquid cooling, and it's going to be a closed circuit system, so they won't be drawing water to no end, right? And that seems to be a big problem, Joey.
Yeah.
The water and the energy prices, those are the main cited reasons for the cancellation of a lot of the data centers that you were astutely pointing out to earlier.
Yeah, to the tune of $130 billion. I mean, there was a pretty aggressive sell-off here. As for Meta, guys, you know what camp I stand. NVDA putting in new highs of the day as the market is continuing to soar. But as for META, listen, we've had headline after headline in regards if it were to getting into the prediction markets. Then you have the paid tier system within Instagram starting a cloud division, and then the stock just kind of been trading within this range. This is the camp that I'm sitting in, and we've seen it already within Google and Apple when it came to that antitrust. I'm sitting in the exact same boat. Until this is all cleared up from a Meta's perspective, I think it's going to be hard for the stock to find any form of real appreciation. Once they come to a conclusion, I think there's going to be significantly more room to the top side for this name. It's trading below 23 times forward earnings, so I think it's relatively cheap, and it is an extremely cheap stock compared to the rest of its peers. So I like everything to do with Meta after the fact that this antitrust comes to a conclusion.
By the way,
off to Adair.
It's called Mooney's Bay.
Mooney's Bay?
Yeah.
Cool, I'll check it out.
Let's go over here a couple different stories. This one not really moving at all, but just worth watching in case it gets some kind of move later, which has happened in the past. Medline, MDLN on watch. Apparently they're getting an FDA early alert to notify the public of a potentially high-risk device issue. So again, worth noting this isn't like 100% an issue, but they're just giving an early alert to make people aware of potential issues here. So I want to mention Microsoft because OpenAI, of course we know Microsoft, despite their issues, they're still heavily invested in OpenAI. They have historically been invested in the company. OpenAI, I think starting around 1 p.m., they're hosting this live stream for their GPT 5.6. Apparently there's going to be hosting sites that they're now launching as well. And apparently pricing as well here, 1 million tokens across 3 model sizes with Sol, $5 input for $30 output. Terra, $2.50 input, $15 output. Their Luna is $1 input at $6 output. Again, this is token prices. So a couple different notes here, MSFT in focus, but Sia has another story for us.
Absolutely, Adira, and we're going to discuss it together. So as you do know, Pepsi reported mixed quarterly results, resulting with it's struggling with its North American food and beverage divisions. So CEO Ramon Laguarta has said in prepared remarks that have been shared on the company's website today that the results have been tempered in the quarter as the U.S. food and beverage category performance overall moderated with consumer budgets tightening due to rising inflationary pressure. Sorry about that. So earnings per share have come in at $2.20 adjusted versus the expected $2.21, and revenue at $24.18 billion versus $23.95 billion expected. So they also reported, like I said, second quarter net income of $2.98 billion, which is or $2.18 shares per share, up from $1.26 billion or 92 cents a year earlier. So that's like a bit of a good look there. Obviously, we have PEP that's also earned $2.20 per share, excluding restructuring, impairment charges, and other items. Net sales risen 6.4% as well to $24.18 billion. Organic revenue risen 2.4%, excluding, however, acquisitions, divestitures, and foreign currency. We have global volume for Pepsi's food that has also increased 3%. And on the other hand, volume for beverages risen 2%. But this excludes pricing, foreign exchange fluctuations as well, and reflects the demand more accurately that way. But Pepsi's volume growth has come more this time from international markets than just North American and domestic markets. It's been much weaker. So food business over there has reported a flat volume for the quarter rather, and its North American beverage division has seen a volume drop of 4%. So CEO of the company has said that GLP-1 consumers also stay within the company's categories, but in much smaller portions. And Pepsi has also warned of higher input cost inflation, where in H2 saying that U.S. consumers are facing rising inflationary pressures. And the CEO of the company has said that the near-term U.S. outlook all depends on the price of gas. It all comes back to gas, while international markets have remained, quote-unquote, very resilient. Give us your take, Adira.
I just want to show this visual because I think it really kind of shows everybody quite nicely exactly the comments that were just being made. So as you guys can see here, GAAP revenue growth on a year-over-year basis in all of its regions and businesses, except for North American foods, which was down 2% year-over-year. Now, North American GAAP revenue growth for beverages actually was there, about 7% year-over-year increase. But as mentioned here, international beverages, 11% growth. Europe here, EMEA, that's up 10% year-over-year. Latin American food business up 15% over year. Asian Pacific food business up 12% year over year. Now, GAAP operating profit growth. This is interesting. As you can tell, there are two segments that are not present here that were present for revenue, and that's because those two segments did not have any meaningful growth or decline. So that means you have flat year over year beverages for North America. You also have some flat year over year Latin America business. But again, you're still seeing here lots of strength internationally. And again, with GAAP operating profit, the other thing you're still seeing is North American weakness. Foods, as we said, down 4% year over year, and no meaningful change in the North American beverage business. So we know that also during the earnings call, I read some of the comments there, Ramon Laguarta and crew are really emphasizing that North American concern. I think if Pepsi can get that business back together, this isn't actually a bad look from an international perspective. It could be like more of a Lululemon or a Nike. And I know this isn't a great comparison, but they're both in the consumer side as well, where you've got China weakness and you also have everything else weakness. This is a situation where, okay, everywhere else is really strong. the home base just needs to tighten up a bit. So I
True.
do think that is possible. Also, a completely random fun fact that has nothing to do with the earnings, but is pretty cool. If you guys see the colors here, I have some of the colors on this infographic that are the same colors as the little globe in the PepsiCo logo. So I recently learned that those colors have to do with the different businesses under PepsiCo's label. So the orange is for Tropicana. The green is for Gatorade. There's a couple others there, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, and I always like to share that whenever I can. Lots to think about here for these PepsiCo earnings.
100%, I agree on the domestic point as well. But thank you so much. That's a very cool insight. Sending it over to the guys to see what they think about this.
I feel like you guys covered the majority of it quite well there. So 4% drop in North American sales. Obviously, that's not a good look. They have to pick that back up, especially food as well. International volume, Adara mentioned that this one grew, and it certainly did. 3% for food, 2% for beverages. But what they're resorting to is shrinkflation. They're selling smaller, lower-priced goods in these emerging markets, which is obviously generating a little bit less of revenue per item. So that keep in mind. And then Sia mentioned the GLP-1 craze. Ramon Laguarta, he's the CEO. He conceded that GLP-1s are hurting their business, but he said consumers are staying with Pepsi, but they're purchasing smaller portions. Makes sense, right? Because their hunger is cut a little bit there. And then the gas margin volatility. Sia mentioned this as well. Of course, this we know gas prices find their way into food no matter how you want to square this circle, Joey. So Pepsi, I think, some good, some bad.
Yeah, I mean, Sharif, you hit that one on the head. Obviously, with slight inflationary measures, you're going to see the consumer tighten up a little bit. And are they going to be getting rid of, is the first thing off their list, some of these snacks? Well, I mean, we often talk about clothing and associate, hey, if the consumer is really starting to cool down, what are you cutting off first? And is it some of these, I'm not going to call them unhealthy snacks, but maybe at times, not something that you necessarily need. But now, as for the GLPs, the companies actually had to make a pretty large pivot. Right. So what happened with a lot of the branding is that you would see the lower calorie snacks. They're just getting into a whole new different space. Why? Because there was that disruptive service coming in from these weight loss drugs. So that's where I stand. Listen, a company like Pepsi, personally, it offers a dividend. I do like everything. You're not going to get the extreme capital appreciation, but there is some headwinds in front of it. And obviously that is the growing popularity of, from peptides to even GLPs, where people are looking for those more healthy alternative lifestyles. You are seeing that translate into the company itself with its products, but it's also associated with, hey, do we need that much sugar? What are we looking at here from an aspartame standpoint, if you're going to get into all the nitty-gritty of things? For me personally, I think you're just seeing a broadening of people wanting to live these different, healthier lifestyles, and that's why you're seeing the Coca-Colas of the world and the Pepsis not doing those big numbers.
And that's the thing, too. It's like, even with the GLP-1 craze, think about this, right? If under traditional health crazes, you have the same purchase of food, you just have a redirection of the money into the healthy food. With GLP-1s, because your appetite is suppressed in general, you're generally buying less food, not different types of food. So it is actually demand destructive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
100%,
health crazes usually redirect money. In this case, you're not redirecting the money.
But even so, like, I believe if you're going to go the GLP route, it's like, okay, so you're taking the initiative to kind of have a healthier lifestyle. So not only are you having the demand destruction, you might also see the pivot into people buying that more healthy alternative.
Well, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I'm not saying your people are not looking for healthy. Sure. Let's go back up and talk about the Strait.
Let's talk a little oil. Yes, oil tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has been slowed after the Iranian attacks on 3 commercial ships this week has pushed the Persian Gulf to the brink of a renewed war. So Matt Smith, who's the director of commodity research at the trade intelligence firm Kepler, has said that 13 tankers have crossed the Strait as of yesterday. Let me give you a rundown that compared to an average ships crossing the Strait were 33. So over the previous week, so 13 is a low number, but still something. The ships have either followed the route that was controlled by Iran or switched their transponders off so that their location would not be shown and avoid certain tracking as well. So oil prices have rallied more than 6% this week. So investors are worrying about the fact that crude exports through Hormuz could potentially plunge again. The U.S. and Iran fight for control of the Strait. As we do know it, USO is currently down 2.8% on the day. We saw during Sector Watch that the energy sector was also lagging behind. The day prices have fallen. Market has placed bets, like I said, off the latest round of U.S. strikes on Iran will not lead to a return to a full-scale war between the two countries.
Oh boy, sorry, just give me a sec here. Take over for a sec because my notes got all.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, President Trump stating comments he doesn't think a war with Iran will start again. Yesterday it was the complete opposite. He was prepared to hit them heavy. Now he doesn't believe that they're going to have any more further conflict other than them trying to reach an agreement. Now, if oil starts flowing, by all means, it's just a back and forth with Donald Trump. It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. And then sure enough, I believe that this thing has cooled down, and that's why USO wasn't overly reactive, and neither was the market.
And the $80 level we spoke about yesterday, where the shorts are accumulated, that is the data that I was able to pull. The shorts have set up, the majority of short positions are at the $80 level on Brent. If you're using TradingView, Brent is UK oil. And we got through 80 yesterday only momentarily, and then down we go, and now we're stair-stepping down, right? So couple of things. First and foremost, a lot of this move up, apparently, if you believe some of the data coming out from Kepler, is that this was short covering. And so this move up here wasn't buying, it wasn't new money, it was short covering. And then you get to the 80. In fact, yesterday this high was 80.58, and that was as good as we could do on the day, and now we're down into 76. So I feel like the shorts are defending their position here. And we saw it, jive with the technicals. And we gave you this $80 level before it even hit 80. We were talking about this one in the morning. Now, that's from a technical perspective. From the side perspective here, aside from technicals, the fact that the tankers are forced to kind of crawl directly through these very controlled routes or kind of go dark proves that, these Western naval convoys, I feel like they're overwhelmed. They can't handle the amount of ships that are needed, or they can't handle the amount of ships that are going through the strait, whether or not they're hugging the Omani coast or whatever. So that is something to think about there. As Sia mentioned, 13 vessels dropping from 33 per day. It's a 60% reduction. I wouldn't mind seeing this conflict come to a final end here soon. Let's go back to Sia.
Let's take a look at Nvidia gaining after unveiling new performance data that is showing its open source Nematron 3 Ultra AI model that can match leading closed AI models while also delivering inference at roughly 1/10 the cost. So the results have been validated using long chains, deep agents benchmark, where Nvidia and Nematron AI models has achieved a business task parity with some of the industry's top proprietary models. So this enforces, I would say, Nvidia's push beyond its AI hardware into enterprise AI software outlook, because these lower inference costs are becoming a key competitive advantage, especially as these companies are continuing and looking to deploy AI agents at scale that Nvidia trading flat.
Okay, so this is super important here because the Chinese are absolutely dominating, and I really do mean dominating, the open source model world, okay? All the best open source models are coming from that country. So that has a number of implications. One, of course, is that, anybody who wants to build their model on top of a free model so they don't have to incur the billions of dollars that it takes in training are going to be building their model on a Chinese model. Step NVIDIA. Perfect. He understood what he was doing here. I'm talking, of course, about Jensen. He knew that if he wants to capture the non-hyperscaler customers, because that's the only people that can afford to build their own models and train their own models, right? So he's got to capture the non-hyperscalers so that they can also use his product. He puts out a free model, an open source model, of course, that's very competitive, not only with the closed source paid models, but with the Chinese open source models. I don't want to say and exaggerate and use hyperbole and to say it's an existential threat, but it is a competition here, not just between the two countries in AI, but it's a competition of models, right? Are we going to, is the open source model going to be espoused more by the commercial world, or are we going to have the closed source model kind of? And that's, you know what I mean? And the world, I could definitely see just as a global position, if these open source models actually end up being pretty good, there's a chance that they could adopt the Chinese models, man. And that is a threat to Western dominance in AI.
Yeah.
So I step in Nvidia. I happen to like this.
I don't disagree. How long do you think like the Chinese would allow? Like, I mean, remember how much of a disruptive service DeepSeek was when it first came? Like, it just it was crazy. So anyways, aside from this, guys, open source, we'll hop into what's going on with these H200s here. So a limited amount, and this is what Sharif and I were going on about yesterday, was just that President Trump allowed the H200 GPUs and marked departure from previous policy. But it's, however, Chinese officials have yet to grant permission for customers to purchase them, despite various reports indicating otherwise, in which I was saying they had approval, they had the licenses to acquire these things. But Sharif, why would
you want to do this now?
No.
Okay.
I was going to say, why?
Yeah.
No,
you're talking about that.
Yeah. So I'm literally just why would the Chinese buy them off of NVDA themselves when they can get them illegally from SMCI?
I don't know.
Huh? Why would Why would
think
you
about
do
it.
that?
When you buy something illegally, you can't
have it out there in the open.
Even if you have it out there in the open, what are they going to do to you? But you can't get it serviced.
No.
You know, and NVIDIA is not going to come there and help you. And if there's any troubleshooting,
exactly.
like you're on your own.
You're on your own.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I completely agree with you on that, man. I happen to like Nemotron, man. I've obviously never used it. I've never built anything on top of it, but I like the concept of North Americans having a competitive open source model, man. Absolutely, because you definitely want people using your product, even if it is free, because it's not even free. It's like a freemium, right? You want the open source model? All right, you got to buy a bunch of H100s. You got to buy a bunch of Blackwells. All right, so I'll show up to do that, but I don't have to train a model for $3 billion. Because that's what I think it was even higher than that. Last report I was reading, it was several billion now just to train a basic model.
Talk to your boy Sam then.
Yeah, well, Sam's got his hands full with that delayed IPO. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I believe he needs it. I think Sam needs the IPO.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you think he's ready to hear what the market thinks about his company?
I believe he needs it just because of how much he's obligated and how much he's in debt right now.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think maybe that's why. All right, let's see it. Let's send it back to the ladies.
Push higher here on PCAR PACCAR. This is an industrial type play here, I believe transportation as well, pushing sharply higher as the New York Times reports that the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, is moving to loosen limits on pollution from trucks. So again, some pollution rules potentially changing here according to the New York Times. Great look here for PCAR, up decently with quite a notable 3-minute candle here since we've gotten that news. So send it over to Sia for the next segment.
Thank you so much, Adara. We're also going to include you in this as well. So SK Hynix's $28 billion US ADR offering has attracted demand more than 7 times the available share. So this highlights a strong investor appetite here. One of the most important companies in AI semiconductor supply chain. So the capital raised will be helping fund new factories and equipment to meet surging demand for these AI memory chips. The company has become NVIDIA's largest supplier of high bandwidth memory, which is the HBM that we do keep talking about on the show, with CEO Jensen Huang recently saying that these memory shortages are likely to persist for years as this AI infrastructure spending continues. And SK Hynix remains one of the biggest beneficiaries, as you do know it, of the AI build out, despite the recent volatility that we've been seeing across the semiconductor space and stocks.
So yeah, I think the history of this company is really crazy and fascinating and worth noting. So basically, this was founded as Hyundai Electronics by Hyundai founder Chung Ju-young in 1983. So it's a very old company, and I did not realize the Hyundai connection. So basically, the South Korean government was pressuring a whole bunch of these smaller non-Samsung companies, more or less, to merge. So they acquired LG Semicon in 1998. Then they rebranded as Hynix Semiconductor in 2001, obviously financial crisis, all that stuff. And they had to have creditors intervene. But then if you fast forward like 10, 11 years, the creditors don't want anything to do with Hynix anymore. They're trying to sell it. They eventually find a buyer by the name of SK Telecom, you guys see the name now, for $3 billion in 2012. At that point, they become SK Hynix. So that's kind of the quick history there. And I believe 2021, they bought Intel's NAND business for $9 billion. So just a quick history. You can find this, of course, on X at TTV Research. IPO range, I was seeing reports of $158.14 to $166, but that's literally just based on like conversion from the won amount that they said they were trying to raise here. So we're gonna have to wait and find out in terms of the IPO price range. I was seeing anywhere from $149 as well, so that would be lower within the price range they wanted if it is $149 per share. We're going to have to wait and see. It's roughly $28 billion offering amount. Lead underwriters here, Goldman Sachs, JPM, Bank of America, and Citigroup, all four of which, by the way, will be reporting next Tuesday before the bell. So nice look here. We'll have to wait and see if IPO season continues with the bang here or a bit of a bust with this IPO tomorrow. I know it's not traditionally an IPO, it's just a U.S. listing, but I found this really fascinating to do the history into this. And if you want to read more, again, exit to TV Research.
Thank you so much.
These ADRs, right? So ADRs are American Depository Receipts. This is what's going to be coming to market, hopefully tomorrow if it comes in on time. And right away, analysts were looking at what the expected price of the ADR was going to be and what it was trading on the Kospi in Korea. And right away, they were seeing a variance where the ADR was going to be a little bit more pricey. So there was an arbitrage opportunity there, but that dwindled away. That potential for an arb went all away as soon as the Korean regulator came out and said, you can convert your ADRs back into common shares in Korea, but you can't convert your common shares in Korea back to ADR, and that reduces the ARB opportunity. So all of a sudden, that big variance that we were seeing between the two exchanges, it narrowed big time. So that ARB, probably a little bit out of the way, just for anybody who's interested. But we're also talking here about $171 billion in pre-orders from institutional investors. Well, why is it so oversubscribed? What is this ridiculous number? Well, there is this rule specifically with ADRs where you don't actually have to front the money ahead of time. So you can throw in the order at the IPO. It's not really an IPO, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. When it comes to list off on a secondary listing, you can throw the money towards them and then you get a certain amount of shares back. That's not the case here. So what they're doing is they're just reserving a huge amount of shares that they're not having to back with any funds. And so they're oversubscribing to make sure they get what they want. What that does, obviously, is it inflates this oversubscription number. Another piece to think about there. And then last but not least, I mentioned this in the morning, UBS, like large investment houses, not just UBS, but they're actively distributing structural trade recommendations, advising some of their clients to buy the new NASDAQ ADR and then simultaneously short the native Seoul listed common stock, which has already helped drop the Kospi about 5% from where it was trading at the beginning of the week. So something to think about there before tomorrow's IPO.
Listen, I don't think there's, again, guys, and I'm just like, I'm speaking my own mind and just obviously how I feel about this coming in. It's not going, again, I don't know, but you have to be cautious. I don't want to say it's going to react like, not going to react like an IPO. Anything can happen, but you have to understand that the Kospi is really made up of two stocks, and that's Samsung and SK Hynix. This went on a 200% run, which is absolutely insane, okay? This is an index. So there's other names within this. And if you go further back, it's even more. If you go to the start of the year, it's closer to 300%. Now, what is going on here is just a massive influx of liquidity coming in. And what can that mean? People offloading a bunch of shares, right? So I'm worried about what's going on with SK Hynix. I don't think it's the best for the South Korean investor, in my opinion, but they want to raise cash. So is it good for the retail person who's been trading this for the past, over 12 months, and it's just almost buy at any given point and buy any form of dip, and next thing you know, you're up 100%? No, I believe it's going to add more liquidity into the situation now. And with that being said, and I said that bright and early this morning, more opinions, and it's going to be significantly more choppy. The Kospi is down 22% off of its highs. Okay, so that's a pretty hefty pullback, especially if we're going to be calling this frothy. You would expect us to be trading around the highs when you're going to be releasing this IPO. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more downside in some of these memory storage names. See ya.
About CBRS, Cerebral Systems is expanding aggressively into Europe, which is announcing its plans to launch its first regional AI infrastructure capacity by the end of this year, this 2026, while also investing several $billions to build new data centers across France, and the Nordic region. The company is targeting 200 megawatts of AI compute capacity by the end of 2027, with a portion that's already being committed to supporting OpenAI workloads under its existing partnership. So management has said that the expansion is aimed at meeting the growing demand in high-performance AI infrastructure that's closer to European customers, with that CBRS is up 11% on the day. But we're going to pause and go to Adara.
I've talked about ServiceNow, guys. NOW, a little bit of a drop here, certainly not helping the ideas that today was kind of SaaSmageddon 2.0 with a couple negative software headlines. This one, though, comes from the information reporting that Signoff has reduced its usage of ServiceNow and increasing their usage of SAP via AI agents. So again, this idea here that ServiceNow is losing customers to, at least in part, concerns about better AI. So NOW, a little bit to the downside here on that report from the information.
All right, let's talk about this European 200 gigawatt footprint. We're talking about France, we're talking about Norway and Finland by the end of 2027, but in focus here should be European data sovereignty. That is something that a lot of countries right now are grappling with, including this one in Canada as well. They do not want their data in the hands of companies who may be subject to American laws that would be able to elicit that information upon request. Obviously, I think everybody wants to protect their data. And that's why they're building them there, so that they have access to them there, and that they can regulate them there and prevent any information from leaving Europe, heading back to North America, whatever ends up happening. So European data sovereignty and focus, Canada as well, doing the same thing. But let's talk about how this is getting built out. $20 billion multi-year compute contract with who, Altman and company at OpenAI. That's how it's being pre-funded and insulated from utilization risks as well that are usually present at this stage. Think about that. And then they're also apparently building national hyperscale data centers takes about 3 to 7 years due to permitting. Apparently here, they're going directly into pre-existing facilities that already have been built in Norway and in Finland. I don't think they have one in France, so they're going to have to build that one out. That means to me that it's probably going to take a little bit longer. We're also talking about this thing trading at about 130 times price to sales, right? Future. So that equity research desks are super paranoid about that. They say the company enters this European deal with and the capex that has to come along with it at a staggering 130 times, alongside negative earnings. I mean, that literally is the case. Yeah, they have a moat they can defend, right? Cheap RAM is what they're basically able to do. They're able to put less costly RAM, so they're kind of protected from the upcycle we're seeing in DRAM and NAND right now. But also, tech analysts view this multi-billion-dollar, placement as a calculated political defensive play. Kind of by building heavy infrastructure natively inside Europe, they're effectively, protecting their international business from, and maybe a new administration comes in and says, no, you can't sell this latest GPU outside of America. This GPU has got to be here, or any other past GPU, maybe saying going all the way back to the H100. Once you get them out of the country, you're sort of shielded about any potential export bans. And we've seen kind of that defensive posturing already. Whether it comes to the Middle East, you don't want to sell them their best chips because maybe they have access to China, or you don't want to sell in Asia because the Chinese seem to be using those countries as gateways. Right, there's a lot of export restrictions at play right now. This is kind of like the new military equipment almost.
Yeah, that's a very valid point, man. I like that. Alongside the OpenAI deal, we're also getting a deal with Amazon Web Services to bring global inference as well. So they're going to be working alongside the Trainium 3 chip unit with Cerebras CS3 systems. So, I mean, listen, this company's been starting its build out, and we were talking about Norway and France as well a while ago when you've seen OpenAI start to get involved with some of these companies to actually build that. But this is just leads to my point of Sam Altman. If you go through all the people he has deals with, and I mean, like, think about it, Adara will probably like this one. How much from an RPO standpoint does Oracle have with Sam Altman? Now they got $20 billion here with Cerebras as well. So it's just like the list is continuing to grow. He needs this IPO. Cerebras, unfortunately, at a loss of 4 cents per share, beating the consensus of 16 cent loss, so not too bad. I like this in the CoreWeave play, but now is the space starting to be a little bit too crowded, Sharif, with Meta starting to step in as well too with cloud provision?
Well, that's the thing, man. I don't know, Joey. I don't think it's getting crowded because you can't get enough of this stuff at the moment. My concern is not a lack of demand, but a technological revolution, something that changes, that allows us to do more with less. That creates trouble.
That's, can I say that? I think that's inevitable.
Inevitable, but of course, you're able to do more with less, but incrementally, right? And usually it's like a staged process, right?
Yeah,
we get the next Vera Rubin or whatever it is, right? I'm just worried all of a sudden somebody comes out with an algorithm that all of a sudden you need half the RAM that you were using before, and then Micron corrects 25%
that was going to be my question. Do you think we fall into a cycle maybe where it's not that we're finding the efficiency, but then we have this glut of compute where the demand isn't there and it becomes a cyclical
Why
thing?
would demand though drop though? That's the question.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Why would it drop? I don't see it dropping anytime soon because I think we're only getting more adaptive within the technologies that the Anthropics, the OpenAIs, and the Geminis are providing.
I think that's like saying internet usage goes down. I hate to keep drawing the parallels between the internet because I know they're not the same, right? But I just think AI, like the internet, is going to be in everything. In everything. Like the internet is in everything right now. It's in your TV, it's in your fridge, it's everything, right?
You're not wrong. Yeah, I agree with you.
That's kind of my feeling there. Let's go to Sia for Levi's.
Let's talk Levi's. So Levi Strauss has delivered a strong quarterly beat, topping Wall Street on both earnings, also revenue raising full year guidance, increasing its dividend as well. So adjusted EPS has come in at 28 cents versus 24 cents that was expected. Revenue has climbed 8% to $1.56 billion ahead of its estimates, and management has also lifted its outlook for it. So now expecting full year sales growth between the range of 7% to 7.5% Adara, and adjusted EPS of $1.46 to $1.52. So this shows confidence that both pricing as well as unit demand will continue to show this supporting results. And CEO of the company, Michel Gass, has said that the consumer demand has remained healthy across Levi's core, value, and premium product lines. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so I want to just show here this visual, which I thought I had already scheduled to post, and apparently, I've got too many infographics going on because it totally hasn't been posted. So check this out probably tomorrow on XTTV Research for earnings day 2. But meanwhile, it's earnings day 1. Let's break down this revenue. So just over more or less half of their revenue here, $815 million of the roughly $1.562 billion they reported. That's going to come from their America segment. Their Europe segment here, a quarter or so, $420 million, shout out to 420, I guess. Asia revenue, $284 million. And then for some reason, they have all these regional segments, and their last segment is Beyond Yoga, which I have to assume is not a region, but rather a business. Either way, that's $43 million. It's a little sliver here of their revenue. But year-over-year growth, unlike what we saw with Pepsi, it's everywhere. And it's actually particularly strong here in America and also with Beyond Yoga, which again, smallest segment, but largest growth. This is not a bad look here for LEVI. And again, if you want to look at this growth on your own, it will be on XTTV Research, probably tomorrow, mid-morning.
Like the direct-to-consumer channel growth, right? And we've seen this strategy work successfully for some and unsuccessfully for others. The case that comes to my mind, Nike, stepping back away from DTC and going back to the wholesale, whether they're going to Dick's Sporting Goods or they're the acquisition, of course, by Dick's of Foot Locker, but they're going to that three-wall setup. Levi's is not, and they're able to hold on to margins better by having that DTC. So I like that aspect of it, and I like the way that they're able to make it work, whereas Nike isn't. But there's also a reason their EPS was high, because cotton deflation, that was huge. The primary driver behind the adjusted EPS was that by 4 cents, was not a sudden surge in customer demand for denim. Instead, it was a capitalization on a sharp multi-month deflationary collapse in the global raw cotton input costs that allowed them to increase their margins. But there is also, in this very good report, and let's be fair, there's also cannibalization of higher margin products. What are we talking about? Credit card transactions reveal that the middle class consumer behavior is aggressively shifting downwards. So basically, sales of lower priced lines are significantly outpacing premium denim. And that creates what people are calling a dangerous product mix that threatens gross margins in the rest of 26 and into 27. And this is not the first time we've seen companies report that consumer behavior is changing, right? Now, there may not be spending dollar value, total dollar value less, but their preferences are going for less expensive items. Less expensive items typically have lower margins. In this case, margins weren't hit because cotton dropped and they were able to make their money that way. What do you think?
I believe you guys know where I stand when it comes to the retail space, but adding 37 company stores in the Americas and 17 in Asia, just kind of back to your whole point there, Sharif, boosting the DTC sales, which is really good. Now, reported stronger demand for warm weather items, lightweight denim, linen shirts and dresses, expanded short range. That denim is up 70% year over year, boosting sales. So, I mean, Sharif's onto a couple of things. Nike, unfortunately, not being able to produce the way that this company is. But if we're talking about the retail space from an appreciation standpoint, I just think it's really, really tough to sit in. As good as those numbers are, this is what we're looking at from a technical standpoint. I mean, $17 up to 24. I understand that's 38% from April, but a lot of this is just sideways price action. I just believe this is a really, really tough space to get involved with. And I mean, if you're going to park your money in it, Sharif, for the dividend, it's not horrible, but it's not great either. For me, I just think there's more opportunities outside of clothing.
When's the last time you bought anything from Levi's?
2008, maybe.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've owned Levi's jeans since high school.
And let me say,
I got to be honest with you.
Listen, I used to purchase. I remember I bought my first pair of Levi jeans because Young Jock was.
Young Jock, yeah. About that life?
No, but in all seriousness, they did a partnership. Like if we're talking partnerships with celebrities, we know what happened with Sydney Sweeney, Travis Kelce. Well, Beyonce was a big partnership with Levi. Yeah, with Levi's for quite some time. Oh, and your boy SGA, Shea Alexander is partnered
with Drake at the Portugal game there.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see that?
Oh yeah, I seen Drake there. Yeah,
I was with SGA.
So maybe those partnerships add a little bit of a boost to sales as well too, but I stand in the camp that it's temporary and eventually it'll cool off.
Mike, PD Rider, hope you all having a good day. We are, man. Hope you're having a great day, Mike. Shout out to you. Let's send it back to Sia.
Thank you. Let's talk about our final story for this news segment. So Fuel Cell Energy has announced a strategic collaboration with Siemens to accelerate deployment of commercial fuel cell power systems, which will give FCell another high-profile industrial partner as it looks to expand its distributed energy products. Now, under this agreement, Siemens will be providing an electric balance of plant, that is EBOP systems, engineering, integration, also medium voltage equipment for fuel cells installations there. The two companies will be jointly evaluating opportunities to deploy these fuel cells alongside battery storage, microgrids, and also distributed energy systems over there. So the partnership is aimed at speeding up commercialization of 100+ megawatt projects while lowering the deployment costs and also improving execution. So no immediate financial impact has been announced as of yet, but FCell is up on the day. It had a huge uptick pre-market as well. It's up on the day, 6.65% to be exact.
Thank you for that, Sia. All right, let's take the technical side of this because this thing's been all over the map, right? We've been advising, well, we don't advise, sorry. We've been letting you know that we're long this in the swing account and we're still in that breakout despite these heavy corrections. I still think that we're holding trend. To me, we hold trend so long as we make higher lows continually. And I think that that is what we're doing. And the higher lows are ironically finding support at that red line. That red line is always going to be the 50 exponential on my charts. But it looks like we double top there through 39. I want to see if we catch another bid through 30, right? We got to 39 the other day, and then it was 1, 2, 3 out of 5 days of selling, and all of a sudden we're testing that $20 level again today with 20 yesterday and then 26 today. I'm going to continue to hold this, guys, until it fails a prior area low. The prior area low for me currently, because we're at an area low, would be at around that 18 1/3. So right around this area here. It loses that, it loses me as a trader. And, we're going to hope we do pretty good on this one, but right now, big couple of days correcting here, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can really say on this other than the partnership with Simons to explore scalable fuel cell power solutions. I know Plug Power has been struggling for quite some time, and that's a stock that couldn't find any form of momentum. But as for all the technicals, Sharif went over those to a T. So yeah, not much I can really say on this F cell. I mean, it is, for me, at times it does fall into this meme type price action.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, does the monthly look ugly on that bad boy.
Oh yeah, God, if you look back at where this was trading during the pandemic.
Bro.
Yeah, exactly. Was that a split there?
Yeah, it split twice.
Yeah, a couple of split, exactly.
Reverse, reverse.
Dude, I remember this. My buddy Alfred had a monster trade on this during 2020.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was big. He had a good one there.
What is, thanks for the show, Joe. No problem, crap stock. There goes NVDA up to 203. Thanks, Sharif, as well, too. Make sure to wear my arm floaties this weekend. I will do.
At Moody's Bay?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Katina Man says I hit the dog paddle, so I've been working on my.
Hold on, can you swim?
Yeah, I could swim, man, but I'm not like if you were like, hey, man, swim to that island out there, I'd struggle for sure.
Yeah?
But I can swim.
I don't know, Katina, man. We're talking about Central Island. I don't know.
No, if you so let's do. Okay, so if you were to be like, hey, from Harborfront to Toronto Island.
Okay.
No chance.
Well, that's like a 10-minute, 15-minute ferry. So that's
yeah.
That's
but
not an easy.
But you know what I'm getting at. Like if it's like extreme.
This is the guy that runs 10K blindfolded too, by the way. Right?
No, but swimming's significantly harder.
How good he is.
I have mad dense bones, bro. I can't float.
Okay, and that is
like
the thing. That is the thing with me as well.
Yeah, like I can't float. I could never float on my back.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with genetics.
It does.
It does. I think from a certain continent, like you're from that continent. Hey, I'm from that continent too, my man, and that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had trouble all my life floating, bro. All my life.
Yeah, I was never good. I was never. And like for me, treading water was tough.
Well, he's half
the
Jamaican, and I'm from Egypt, and we know where Egypt is, right? Like,
it's Africa. Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're African,
they're not
descendants
from Jamaica.
of Africa.
They come from somewhere else. Yeah. Well, the DNA doesn't change, Katina, man. I mean, it's just there, right? Like, well, if you're Sicilian.
Yeah.
Are you Sicilian? You're not. Are you Calabrese?
We all come from the same place.
Where what Italian, if you don't mind my asking?
It's
Pescata. Yeah, I know Katina, man, almost 5 years. I didn't know what kind of Italian he was.
Yeah.
But there you go.
What do you say, pescado?
Yeah, Pescata.
Pescata.
Look it up. I'm going to have to look it up.
Bro. Yo,
it's on the water,
Joey. Double check that one, bro, for sure.
Eddie, he is from Corleone.
Yeah,
he is, isn't he, Eddie, man?
Corleone.
Shout out to my man, Eddie. Now I know he's a Madridista. How do I say it? Madrista? How do I say it, Eddie? Madridista or a Madrista? Tell me how to say it, Eddie. But that means he's from Madrid, and he also supports the Madrid
Could you
team.
swim to Toronto Island?
I can swim. I have trouble floating, though. So it is a struggle. It requires more energy from me than it would somebody else. And that's
yeah. Absolutely. So yes or no to being able to swim to Toronto?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know it quite yet, man. I have no idea.
You don't know yet?
Madridista. There we go. So I got that right. All right, man.
All right.
It is. We're 30 seconds deep here.
I know, man.
I think we're going to multiply by that.
It's you and our good boy Obi tomorrow as well, so I hope everyone has a solid one. Have fun with SK Hynix, man. Swing that bat.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
That's all I can say about that. Oh, boy. There he is.
Right.
I already saw him today. I thanked him for all the food, right? Because I've been taking all his food.
Oh.
Right?
Because he doesn't come in.
He gets a dish, and he doesn't come in, and I take all his protein. So I had to thank him for that. All right, guys, and thank you guys for joining us. Obi and I, same bat time, same bat channel. Joey is off tomorrow. Take care, guys.